anytime. Yeah. Tap in, turn on.
You're welcome.
Yo, your higher self already logged in. Tapped in. Yeah.
There we go.
If you really want it, you gotta be it. As Ms.Blue has shared with the world, it's all about frequency. If you feel it, show it. If you want it, grow it. If you believe it, know it. It's all about frequency. If you dream it, live it. Live it. If you receive it, give it. Nothing's missing, I'm it. It's all about frequency. In the past I thought I lost it, but the truth was always near. Every scar became a teacher. Every fall just brought me here. Now I'm rising with the healing. Every light inside of me, not becoming what I'm chasing. I am the frequency. You feel it, show it. Show it. If you want it, grow it. Grow. If you leave it, know it. Know. All about frequency. Ask the question, how is this possible? The answer subtle, synchronicities audible. Keys unlocking, belief expanding. Frame by frame, new life commanding. No chase, no match, I embody the key. The light I own unlocks destiny. Raise my vibration, reality shifts. Every dream I desire already exists. Nothing's coming to me, no, no. Already here. When I raise my vibration, the vision is clear. Vision is clear. If you want it, grow it. Grow. If you leave it, know it. Believe it. It's all about frequency. If you dream it, live it. Live it. If you receive it, give it. Nothing's missing, I'm it. I'm it. It's all about frequency.
Da-da. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. Peace and greetings, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome on in. Let me go ahead and greet you with higher insight. I am Ms.Blue, the Soulful Oracle, and I want to welcome you all in. Wow. Thank you all for tuning in. And definitely do me a favor. Let me know, drop it in the comments if you're listening live, or drop it in chat and let me know where you're tuning in from. Like what state, what country, what continent, where in the world you're tuning in from. And I just want to welcome you all in. Listen, it took me a minute to even get here because I kind of got stuck in the Akashic records. I kind of got stuck in the Akashic records. Yes. Going over the notes because we're going to be talking about 2026. And yeah, you thought 2025 was doing something. You thought 2025 was doing something. Wait. Oh my goodness. Just wait. Just wait for 2026. But it's definitely going to be some good things to come. And so, yeah, I'm so glad you're all here. I'm going to do my very best and do my due diligence to get us in here and get us out of here. Like you're going to get this information. But I can tell you already, I'm probably going to have to do a part 2 because I couldn't fit everything. I've been writing this down for months and months and months. And whoa, 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 whoa. I got notes upon notes. I got physical notes. I got digital notes. I got Akashic notes. And I'm also going to be doing some channeling. Now, many of you are already aware that even before we start, I've been talking about this for months. And for those of you who have been a part of the Futuristic Activation Group, or you have been a part of Andromeda Rising, or you are a part of the All About Frequency class, or any of the classes that we've been doing, Self Love is the New Shadow Work. And by the way, shouts out to everyone in Self Love is the New Shadow Work, because we actually just wrapped up that. It was an 8-week class, but officially we went 9, 10 weeks. So wrap that up. And I want to shout them all out because they did an incredible, amazing, mind blowing work. I'm talking about that real shadow work. So welcome on in. If you all don't know who I am, if this is your very first time landing here, or if you've been here for a very long time, I want to welcome you on in. I am Ms.Blue, the Soulful Oracle, and I want to welcome you on in. We got some new coming in because, as you know, we are already in this energy of 2026, and it does not disappoint. It's going to be a challenge. I'm not going to hold you, but I don't know about you. But we are certainly up for the challenge. This would be the time, as we're getting into this, that you send some invites out. You do some screenshots, whether that screenshot is of yourself, whether that's you doing a recording, put it on your social media and letting people know, come on over. Come on over. You want to tap into this. It's going to put you in the driver's seat. It's going to put you in the driver's seat of your magic. I promise you. You're going to want to hear this. You're going to want to bookmark this and come back. But enough about that. I want y'all to know I got my water. I got my water with me. And, as I was getting ready to come on, my guides were telling me, because I was thinking about what fragrance do I want to embody, because it's an activation for me. What fragrance is that that I wanted to wear tonight? So after I was getting dressed, getting out the shower, I was thinking about what fragrance would really embody this energy of 2026, like this freshness, this newness, to get into that vibration even deeper, and doing it through fragrance. And, I heard a fragrance, and it's one of those ones that sit on my dresser that I don't reach for often. And it was gifted to me by my sister. My baby sister gifted this gift to me. And when I first smelt it, I didn't know how I felt about it in the beginning. So clean, so fresh, you know? Um, But I kept hearing that over and over tonight. And immediately, once I sprayed it on me, it was an immediate activation. And I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to do a little bit of it here. And many of you who hang out with me in the cosmic streets, you already know this, but it is Gypsy Water by Barredo. This Gypsy Water here, oh my goodness. If 2026 was a fragrance, it would be Gypsy Water. And I'm going to tell you why. It has a freshness to it. It has a clean slate to it. It has a richness to it, but it has a drive, a strong, magnetic, forceful drive to it. It has a flair of elegance to it. It doesn't lean extremely feminine and it doesn't lean extremely masculine. It kind of pulls you in the middle and it allows you to step into your own essence. Listen, sample it if you can. Gypsy Water, a lot of billionaires on the planet, this is their go-to. And at first I couldn't understand it. It brings you into a neutral point. It neutralizes you energetically, mentally. It neutralizes you. It causes you to pause, to slow down, to pause. It's a great activation. Yeah. So I thought I'd share that with you. So I'm wearing a little bit of Gypsy Water and I'm drinking me my water that has been sitting here. Some copper water, actually, that's been sitting in here for about 5 hours. So it's got some good minerals in there, which is going to be some of those things that we need for this year. But let's talk about 2026, because 2026 is the year of fire. It's a year of fire. Matter of fact, in Chinese astrology, it is the year of the fire horse. But 2026 is not just a fire year. 2026 is going to be the year of fire and air. And I want you to write that down because I need you to understand that those two elements are going to be the dominant element that is going to be in the Akashic skies. Fire and air. As you know, 2025 is a year of fire. We started off, it kicked off with fire. How could we forget? Our hearts still go out to all of those who dealt with fire this year. And we're going to have that again. So we have this mixture of fire and we have this mixture of air. So the winds, the airways are going to be wide open, wide open. The fire is here, but we're going to talk about how we can align ourselves, some of the things that you need to do to put yourself in the best position for ushering in this energy in 2026. I also want you to know that the last time that we had a fire horse year was 60 years ago. Clock it. 60 years ago. Now, as you know, in numerology, when you're looking at the universal frequency of a year, there are quite a few things to take into consideration. One of the things that you must take into consideration is actually each of the individual numbers. So you have the number 2, the number 0, the number 2, and the number 6. So you have all of these numbers together. And when you bring these numbers together, they add up to the number 10. Now, in numerology, what typically happens is it's not that zero is discounted. I don't discount zero because zero is going to play a very significant part. And I want you to think about this. Every time you see a zero, it is amplifying everything that is around it. So, zero in 10 is amplifying the one. This is a year of new beginnings. The zero is there, which means it's going to amplify this new beginning. And this new beginning, you will have the opportunity for this new beginning to touch every single aspect of your life. It will touch every single aspect of the world. In fact, as the song goes, a whole new world. We're going to be in a whole new world. Whole new world. A whole I can't sing, but a whole new world is going to be opening up in a very, very profound way. I attempted, and I want you all to know this, I attempted to do this by category so I don't get too far to the left and too far to the right, and we can kind of stay on track and kind of go through some of these things and some of these predictions. And I want to talk about these predictions. They are predictions. And when I say predictions, these are predestined events. Not destined, meaning they have to happen, meaning that there is a particular timeline and frequency where the atmosphere will be right and the frequency for this to likely occur. But there is a level of responsibility that I'm holding to anyone who's here. And most of what I will be doing in 2026 when it comes to me going live and also working with you in one-on-one sessions, or don't forget the DreamMakers 12-week class that's going to be kicking off here shortly because that class is live. We'll talk about that. Is we're going to talk about what can we do so that the outcome is in the greatest and the best interests of not only just ourselves, but everything and everyone who is connected with us. And if you're about that life, let me know, because this is the time where the light workers, we come out of practice mode and we come into action mode, right? We come into action mode and we begin to work and move things forward. So now we're going to get started because I know it's a lot. So I want to first talk about some of the overall energy of 2026 because there is some profound energy that is available on the planet at this particular time. And I want us to talk about it because the frequency of 2026, it carries a frequency of refinement. And I want you all to hold on to that and to tap into that refinement. It also carries a strong galactic code that is there. And so that is a word that many of you who have been a part of our soul family here, our soul collective, you've heard me use that word for years, but you're going to start to hear that more. And for many of you who participated and were a part of the Universal Citizenship Awards that we did several years ago, you will see that this is where we're all standing up to become. We are becoming universal citizens. And I will touch on that a little later to let you understand what that means. So here are some key points I want you to understand about 2026. This frequency is about refinement. It's about responsibility, and it's about embodiment. These are words that we may use in our day-to-day language. We hear them being thrown around on social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. Everyone is using these words. Well, now it's time to no longer use these words, but really, really embody this and bring this close to us in our lives. Because this is not the year of spiritual awakening. The Great Awakening kicked off now, so it will be a part of the undercurrent. But from what I can see in the Akashic records, and I went deep into the records, it's going to be a year of spiritual adulthood. Mm. Sound familiar? Absolutely. This is the year that we will grow up and become adults on planet Earth. For those of us who are choosing spiritual maturity and adulthood, we are stepping into the adulthood of spirituality. Now, energy is shifting at this particular time. And so energy is shifting from expansion to integration. So we've done a lot of expansion energy, learning tools and techniques about how to expand our consciousness, how to expand our frequency. We've done that work and we will still continue to do it, but now the focus is on integrating. We are going from the point of searching to mastering. Now, that may seem like that's a big jump to go from searching to mastering. And I want you to take all of these things and maybe jot down those things that feel good to you in your spirit and in your soul, and those things that feel alignment to you, or wherever you're getting sort of these downloads, even during this show, because you will get many downloads here. I place light codes in here and the frequencies within my voice. Let's hope it holds up. I've been recalibrating the harmonics within my voice for a minute. And it's ready now. So we're going from searching to mastering. We're going from reacting to we are all becoming responders. You know, remember there used to be a television show called First Responders. And matter of fact, do we have any first responders here in the building? If so, you know, we want to kind of love on you and give you some shots out and thank you for the work that you're doing in the world, because we are going from reacting to becoming first responders. And you know what that means when you are a first responder. It doesn't necessarily mean that when there is an emergency, this is the only time you respond. First responders are usually the ones who go out before there is even a reaction taking place. In fact, first responders are very critical in the role of preventing things from happening, not just showing up after the tragedy, after the chaos. First responders are the ones who lay the groundwork, give the education, share the tools, and share the tips before anything happens to prevent things from going on. So, this is the frequency that we're stepping into. We are becoming the first responders. And so 2026 ask one question. And here is the question I want to give to all of you. And that question is, can you hold clarity under pressure? Pressure? You know that song? What's our girl say? Hands on me. Hands on me. Can you hold clarity under pressure? Because there's going to be some things that 2026 frequency will reward you for. And number one is emotional regulation. You will be rewarded for emotional regulation. 2026 will also reward clear thinking. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I got to think about it. I got to process it. I got to sit with it. It rewards clear thinking. 2026 also rewards conscious choice. Not any choice, not choices made out of fear, but conscious choices. 2026 will also reward nervous system awareness. Nervous system awareness. 2026 will reward this. And here's something else, because it's going to be a lot of talk, and I'm going to share with you my perspective that I want to speak about. And that is chaos doesn't increase, but intolerance for chaos does. This is all going to be going on here. So I want you to think about this. The last fire horse cycle, because we're in a 60-year cycle. Some of us here are in a 60-year cycle, meaning you're 60 years old, or you will be 60 in 2026, or you're older than 60. Some of us are in a 20-year cycle. This is the start of 20 years. Go back 20 years from now. Go back 60 years from now. And some of us are in a 9-year cycle. So it's a lot of cycles within cycles that are happening. Some of them are universal and some of them are personal. It's important that you understand this, because when you can recognize a pattern, when you can recognize a loop, if it is one that you want to get out of, then you simply evolve and step yourself out of the loop. So the last time the fire horse cycle was in 1966 to 1967. And I'm going to be honest with you, during that particular time in history, I took a look energetically through the Akashic records, downloads that my guides have shared with me over the years, as well as looking through history. It broke culture wide open. Music became the message. Art became consciousness. Fashion became a major part of identity, and food became medicine. And spirituality, oh my goodness, it became so personal. Because at that particular time, the era was all about liberation, liberation and freedom. Now, this fire horse year is a little different. So we're going to talk about the differences and the nuances here, as opposed to when it was 60 years ago, because the fire horse energy has evolved. And in this 2026 cycle, this cycle is about leadership and it's about mastery. And I need you to remember that. Put it somewhere, type it in your phone, put it on a sticky note, put it on the window, write it on with the dry erase marker on your mirror, put it on your refrigerator, so that you understand that this year, teach it to your children, teach it to your pets, teach it to yourself. It is about leadership and mastery. The other thing that is very different than the last fire cycle of the horse. This isn't about rebellion. 2026, this is about direction. And I need you to understand direction. Remember the group One Direction? Well, we're not going in one direction, but we do have a direction. And 2026 is about direction. And even though in 2026, you'll see there is going to be a lot of discoveries, this year is not about discovery, but it will be the year that peaks discernment. And despite what the world may have you convinced of or thinking, it's not about noise. You know, an interesting thing happened right before I was about to go live. I had my phone right here. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys, because I love to show you these signs and symbols in real time here. But I don't think it will. But anyway, I got a notification, and the notification let me know that iHeartRadio sent me a notification that the president of the United States was doing a live address. Talk about leadership and mastery and alignment. We are all here present for our leadership and our mastery. And there's the synchronicity. But somehow we kept going. It seemed like that's over. But you understand what I'm talking about. It's not about noise, 2026. It's about clarity. And I want you to write that down, because you will notice in the word clarity, you have clair. And we will be talking about our multisensory abilities. And we will be talking about what I affectionately like to call the Claire sisters, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. You know, all of the Claire sisters are coming online. And many of you can feel that. You can hear that right now. I've received in the last week or so more than a dozen emails of people telling me about loss of hearing in an ear, ringing in an ear, hearing sounds and vibrations, because the clairs are amping themselves up. But I want you to remember this: the fire horse energy, because that's what we're talking about, this fire horse energy. The fire horse energy doesn't ask you to run faster. And I know we think about the horse and we see the horse, and the horse is running wild, but it's not asking you to run faster. But it is asking you to run something up. And what it's asking you to run up is to run up truth. The truth that is undeniable, that happens deep within your spirit, within your essence, and within your soul. So now, yeah. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So now I want to talk about some of the categories that there's going to be some major shifts and some major changes. Number one, I think this is important because this has already started. And I noticed this a couple of months ago, because we're going to be dealing with a lot of this elemental energy. And I want you to understand that we are the elements. Some years ago, there used to be a game, and I would play it on my phone. And you had to take the elements and you had to mix them together. And one of the challenges was to see if you could build a human with the elements. Could you get the right amount of air? Could you get the right amount of fire? Could you get the right amount of water? Could you get the right amount of wood? And could you get the right amount of the metals? You know, could you bring them together to create these things? And in the game, they would give you a task and you would earn points for each of the elements. If anybody know what that game is, you know, drop it in the chat. But anyway, it seemed like it was kind of difficult to build a human. with these elements. But eventually, like most things that we play, and we know that life, this life here is a game. It's a game of life, right? And being able to put these things together, I was able to build a human and build quite a few other things. So I want you to know that this element, this ecosystem, with our ancestors, something they relied heavily on and have a lot of respect and reverence for the power of the elements, not just the ones that we can see, but also the elements that we cannot see, and how these elements are coming together to form, to create, to build, and to destroy, and to, transform. These elements are all there. So, the dominant elements for 2026, I'll note it here again, is going to be fire and air. And it's going to be moving fast. Do you know what happens when you have a fire? When you have a fire, when you have a fire and you blow on that fire, if you blow too hard, the fire goes out. But if you hit that fire just right, that fire expands. It expands. It expands. And that can be a beautiful thing when we're talking about it energetically, when we're talking about it from a position of something you're passionate about, or when we're talking about it with something that sort of drives you. When we're talking about it when it is something that you are attempting to transform or to transmute some energy, it's powerful. Your goal is to understand that everything that is happening outside of you is also happening inside of you. But I want you to know that where your power is going to lie. And this is not the first time that we have heard this. I have to go back and look at my Twitter account and look at my, I don't know if I even had Instagram at the time or Facebook account, but go back and look at the year and see what year it was that I decided that I wanted to be like water. And this year, you are to be like water, because this is your role to balance out the elements. There's more than 8 billion people on the planet, and we live on a water planet. And because the dominant energy is going to be air and going to be fire, there's a lot of fog that's going to be energetically, meaning fog in your mind. Right now, many of you right now, you're unsure of what direction to take. You're unsure of what you're going to do next. You might have had some clarity a couple of months ago, and all of a sudden you got a download, and it might have told you to quit your job, to leave your relationship, to move to another city, to start a relationship, to get married, to get divorced, to have a child, to move from one place to another, to go back to school, to leave school. It might have sort of had you in that particular space where all of these things were taking place for you. And then all of a sudden, it's like everything stopped. And it's like this mist, this fog came over you. And you're looking forward, you're moving forward, but you can't move fast because this fog is so thick that you can't see what is the next step. What do I do next? What is there for me? Now you have this feeling deep down inside that oh, I'm going to be good. Shorty gonna be good. I'm gonna be more than good. However, you do not know what is next. You can't see it. You can't feel it. You can't touch it. You can't taste it. You can't even smell it. But you know that there is something great that is ahead for you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, gods and goddesses, whatever you choose to call yourself, kings and queens, you have entered into the fortress of 2026. And we are starting out with this fog, this mist that is here. And this is why you cannot see. But the mist is not only energetically, it is going to transfer. This is how you know the clarity is going to start coming from within, and it's going to start coming without, because you will start to see the heavy thickness of the fog in the atmosphere. And that's when you're going to know that the transformation from within is happening. And so, because of this fog, we are going to have delays, just like you've had delays. But there's going to be delays. It's going to be delays when it comes to moving forward. It's going to be delays when it comes to starting projects. It's going to be delays when you're getting ready to take a flight. And in fact, it's going to be some times throughout 2026 where planes are going to be grounded because of the fog. They're not going to be able to travel. Ships are going to be grounded, or I don't know if they ground ships, but they're going to be docked because of the fog. They're not going to be able to move because of the fog. Schools are going to be closed. Jobs and work is going to be delayed because of the fog. Okay. So we're going to be dealing with, maybe we should talk about weather first. We're going to be dealing with a lot of fog. And this is going to be quite a bit, and it's going to be quite a few places around the world. Now, one of the things that took me a little long is because I wanted to do something that typically I don't do. And that is, I wanted to break down the months and tell you exactly when this more likely would happen. I decided against that. And I'll tell you why. When I was in the Akashic records, I could see it was all over the place because it's contingent upon a lot of things taking place. And so don't worry if you stay tuned to the channel. And by the way, if you're not liked and subscribe, I don't know what you're doing, but I would love to have you like and subscribe to be able to do that, so that you can get that. Because when I give energy reports and updates, you'll be able to get those updates, and you'll be able to get it in real time. So let's talk about some of the weather. Of course, we know there's going to be fire, but I want to talk about fire a little bit. When we say it's a fire year, I'm not just talking about the physical element of fire. I'm also talking about firearms. And so there will be a lot of discussion, a lot of activity around firearms and use of firearms. And so we need to make sure, if we have firearms, that we make sure that they are in a secure place, particularly where children and people who are highly emotional do not have access to these things. And you yourself make sure that you're taking extra precaution when it comes to firearms. Okay. The other thing is, when you're working in your house, when you're cooking, anything that has to do, candles, everybody wants to get into candle magic. And I've been getting so many questions about candle magic. And I just kind of laughed to myself, because I know we were 2025, the year of the fire, and then also 2026 is going to be the year of fire and air. Another opportunity to want to work with fire. There's going to be a natural calling to work with fire, to make sure that you are using safety precautions. Why? Because fire is already energetically in the atmosphere. And so it just takes anything. It's looking to catch on to something. And I want you to put that mindset. The fire is looking for something to expand it. The fire is looking for something to spread. It's looking to dominate because this is what's heavy in the atmosphere. And so you want to teach your children about fire. You want to make sure that, think of electrical because we have the air. So we're now talking about electrical things. You want to make sure that you keep things in alignment for your pets. Because I did see that there are some situations where pets actually start fires. My sister just recently had an incident with her cat, which he's such a character, Gucci, her cat, where she was waking up in the middle of the night and she was hearing dee dee dee, dee dee dee. He thought it was cute to go play with the stove and press the little buttons to cut it on and off, and it was making a noise. And so she had to kind of sort of safe proof her oven and put it on off mode so he wasn't able to press the button to start a fire. So I want you to think about pets. I want you to think about children. And I also want you to think about yourself. Do not leave a fire unattended, especially if you like camping, you like fishing, you like going out hiking, these types of things. And on the adverse side, if you're going to be out in the elements, you need to have a fire starter. So make sure you carry and keep it in your car, keep it with you, particularly in the winter months. Can you start a fire? You need to have a fire starting kit with you. So two things is prevalent when it comes to fire. Not only do you need to make sure we are using our awareness around fire and firearms and understanding about all kinds of forms of fire, but we also need to make sure that we are protecting children and those who could be sensitive to fire there, not leaving candles or, you in the kitchen frying some chicken, but you outside talking to a neighbor and almost burning down the house. Like, you make sure that you are, when you're working with this element, that you are front and center. The other thing, when it comes to heating our homes and our houses for those who have fireplaces, all of these things, you want to make sure that you use, good judgment and discernment. But by the same token, you want to make sure that you have a way to start a fire, especially if you live in climates that are cold or in the wintertime, that you will have a way to start a fire. So that balance of the fire needs to be there. Okay. Things like different things that you're using for the fire. All right. I see some of you saying you caught a fire tonight in your stove. So you want to make sure that you're using that because it's going to be vital in the air. Now, energetically, we can use that fire that's inside of us to start a fire. Matter of fact, anyone who's thinking about starting a business, and we're going to go into this in a little bit here, but this is a great year to move that fire, that idea you've been sitting on for so long, that project, that class that you've been talking about taking, but you never took, that thing that requires you to get that fire going with inside of you, that passion, that thing that you want to start, but there are some critical steps that you must do because a lot of people are jumping the gun, and that is not going to work so well for you. And I want us to have the best alignment when it comes to the fire. Now let's talk about the air. air is going to be another supreme thing. Anytime we're talking about the air, it's going to tap into the consciousness, right? Because we're talking about the Akash. We are talking about the atmosphere. And so we will have delays when it comes to windstorms. There will be windstorms, there will be sandstorms, there will be different atmospheric things that occur within the wind. We will also have downtime for planes and electrical devices. One of the great things to do before we usher into the numerology of 2026, I would recommend that you back up all of your files from your phones, from your computers, your devices, these electronic things that you back them up, as well as passwords. Now, I know many of us, we have a password keeper, and that password keeper could be recognition based on our vision, based on us, who we are, or based on a fingerprint or a thumbnail. But you want to get you a notebook and you want to make sure that you pass these things on. And someone asked the question, do I see a whole grid going down? Absolutely. We're getting ready to talk about that. And I'm going to tell you exactly where I see the grid going down. There's going to be major outages all across the United States. A major outage that I seen happening in New York, and primarily within the boroughs of New York City. Major outage. They're going to occur throughout in different pockets, as well as China, as well as parts of Europe. There's going to be major outages. And I'm talking about major. I'm talking about major. I'm talking about millions of people without power, and some for a few days without power. Okay. So these are some of the things to be aware of. But definitely it's going to be some major power outages due to a lot of weather, but also due to the electricity that's in the air. The air is going to be highly volatile, highly volatile. That's going to be happening in the air. It's a lot of electricity in the air. There was a time, and someone let me know if you remember when this actually occurred. I don't have my notes on this one, but I was having these visions and I was seeing these things falling out the sky, and it looked like hundreds of them. And I seen people running and they were just coming down, falling out the sky. And then eventually, I think I seen a post on Instagram, and on that post on Instagram, I came in a little closer when I got into my vision, and it possibly, now this is possibly could have been satellites falling out of the sky, satellites falling out of the sky. But this is something I kind of remote viewed Elon Musk. He's secretly working on this right now, a way to keep the satellites in the sky. We're going to come to a point where our atmosphere is going to sort of the way I seen it is like the atmospheric pressure is going to drop. It's not going to be a pole shift, but we're going to go through some sort of geometrical storm that happened, and it's going to cause the atmosphere to just kind of it's almost like the power goes out in the atmosphere. I don't know how to explain it. It was the vision I seen in the records. It's like the power went out, and all of these satellites started to fall. Now, that was maybe a year or two ago when I seen that vision. I have since revisited it, and this is when I seen that Elon Musk and quite a few of some of these geniuses are working on preventing this from happening. Okay. Now, I don't have the answer if they have the answer, but it is going to be a collective and a universal energy, meaning that different countries are going to have to work together to come up with a solution for this or what to do when it happens, because there's going to be a drop in the magnetic field. And that drop is going to start occurring. And a lot of it is because we have moved to our location in the photon belt. And so, where we are, we're going to be in a place where it's not as strong. It's not a true pole shift. Not really. But I'll try to see if I can get more words. So that's going to be the thing. But make sure you back up all of your equipment. There is going to be a major, major, major data leak that is going to occur. And yeah, a lot of things are going to get leaked. A data breach, a data leak that's going to happen. And it's going to be full disclosure, like things are going to come out that is going to send a ripple effect through the world. It's not just going to be in one place or something just happening in America. It's going to expose a lot, a whole lot. And that is going to spark a universal citizen movement where there is going to be a demand for transparency. It's going to be a lot, a lot, a lot that is going to be exposed. But hold on, because let me get back to the weather. Some of the highlight places for the power outages: Europe. And I see many places in Europe, from Spain, Germany, Italy, France, as well as Japan and the United States. Major, major outages that will happen. Mhm, mhm, mhm. I also want to touch on fire just a little bit here. Explosions. I see explosions, but explosions in water, like a lot of explosions of things with fire on water. We're going to have a lot of things happening within the water, within the waters, that is going to happen. Um, that is there. So pretty active season, but it's going to be a it's going to be some record breaking years when it comes to weather, particularly places like Alaska. Yeah, Alaska, places like Canada, Japan, New Zealand. These are going to be some hot spots, as well as Africa, Canada, uh, the Netherlands, Europe, these places in China. There's going to be. So we're going to go through a period of drought. It's going to be some dry months where there may even be a ration of water. So water is going to play a significant role, even though it's not the dominant energy of the year. But because of the fire and the air, water is going to be significant. It's going to be really, really significant. significant that happens. Um, Still talking about the weather, I want to talk about that. Alaska is going to be a hot spot for a lot of things. Alaska is going to be a hot spot for a lot of things. Alaska is so tornadoes, hurricanes, volcanoes waking up, like the one we had earlier this year when the sister came on the show, and I was tuning into her energy, and I told you guys about what could possibly she was tuning in. That's another thing. Many of you will realize that you're getting a different level of sensitivity for Earth. Like you might have always been connected to Earth. And I would like to say, as you know, all of us living on the planet, we have a natural connection with Earth. And it's where most of us feel most connected when we're in nature. But some of you are tapping into a different level that this world has not seen for thousands of years with your connection with Earth. And these will be the Earth keepers that will be able to the frequency is going to be so finite that they're going to be able to tap into to this energy of this earth to really let us know when there's going to be drastic weather changes, things like tsunamis, earthquakes, hurricanes, um, floods, droughts, windstorms, all of these different things that they're going to do. But there is a waking up that is happening. 2025 is the year of the great awakening. And so now as we move into this energy of 2026, the awakening is still going on. And so it's going to be in remote places. It's going to be in places that typically these things don't happen. So it could be a volcano where a lot of people live. I remember doing several Akashic record readings, and I remember when it talked about Bombay, when they had the volcano and it covered for thousands and thousands of miles, those kinds of situations that will happen. It's almost like the sleep is waking up. Just think of it that way. The sleep is waking up. And so this is going to be true for many of these pockets and places on planet Earth too. Some of these places are going to be waking up. And even in Alaska, they're going to discover a volcano in Alaska that is going to be waking up in Alaska. Yeah. Yeah. I seen that one pretty clear. Mhm. Mhm. It was something else I want to tell you guys about that is going on. So places like in Europe are going to go from it's raining, 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 raining to drought, to extreme drought. Drastic temperature rising and falling, major flooding in Georgia. Georgia is one of the places that will have a major flooding that occurs in Georgia, in the state of Georgia, as well as have some discoveries that are new discoveries. So I feel like when the water comes, after the water settles away, there's going to be great discoveries that happen. Could be more ancient civilizations. But these are going to be things we don't know. It's going to be animals. It's going to be species that didn't exist before. Like we're going to have these kind of weird kind of things that take place, these anomalies that will be happening at this particular time. And it's going to, it's going to uncover more things. You understand? It's going to uncover more things and it's going to start debunking things. By the way, this is a great place for me to interject this. There's going to be a scientist that's going to come up and have a discovery. And it's going to be through that discovery that we get a whole new map of the world. And we will start to see the world different. Or shall I say, we will start to see Earth different. Earth will look different. And maybe, just maybe, we will get a new map. If not in 2026, 2027, we will have a new map of Earth. And it will start to include different things in this map. We will also get a new map, world map, that will also incorporate different lines of frequencies, ley lines, and energy, because it's going to be significant that this is some knowledge that you're going to need to know when traveling and moving around. But there's going to be a scientist that comes across some research, some information, a theory. It's going to be something that the world hasn't been presented with before that is going to open up this scope of how we have been programmed to see Earth, to seeing Earth in a completely different way. Like, completely different. It kind of reminds me of when I got a channel a while ago that we don't live on Earth, we're in Earth. Like, we're inside Earth. Like, there is something that exists above us in Earth. Like, we're not on top of Earth, we're in Earth. So, yeah, do with it what you may, but I want to give you that. I want to give you that. The other thing that I want to talk about here, I'm going to kind of jump over the place a little bit because I don't want to forget things, and certain things are coming up. And particularly when we get to June, July, August, September, October, in this particular month, this is going to be what I call the shaky, shaky baby month. It's going to be a lot of shaky, shaky baby energy. And what I mean by shaky, shaky baby, like a lot of things on earth is going to be shaking up, like earthquakes, like volcanoes, tsunamis, and these kinds of things. The Philippines, Thailand, South Japan, Mexico, and parts of Africa. Parts of Africa, it's going to be these things that are happening. And as a result of it, it may even start to birth what soon will become a new ocean. And I know we have oceans here that we have, but it's going to break up the land. It's going to be to the point where there's going to be some breaking away of land that's going to open up new pathways, that we're going to start getting new names for what we call the sea and oceans and these large masses of land and different things of this nature. Now, I also want you to know that what I'm giving you are things that I'm seeing inside of these visions that I'm seeing through the eyes of the Akashic files, and just looking at looking at what's happening within the sphere and the scope. Time doesn't exist there. So some of these things can start and it can continue to make its way all the way for the next couple of years. And as we move closer to that 2028, 2029, 2030 energy, these things start to carry themselves out. Someone like my necklace. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's I'll have to drop the link if anyone's interested where I got it from. But yeah. So mhm, mhm. So we're going to have that. Also, speaking of the sky, yeah, we're going to have visitation. Lots of visitations. Lots of visitations, lots of disclosure when it comes around UFOs. Not to the level that I think we would want as someone who understands that I am both human and I'm also a hybrid. Not to that degree, but for those of you, there will be so many everyday people who no longer question whether or not we are alone. We're going to know for a fact we are not alone. In fact, as we move closer towards the end of 2026, 2027, we're going to have more people come forward who are going to proclaim that they are not of this world and they're going to be seeking some sort of asylum. Do you guys remember what year was that when the the Catholic priests were preparing for how they would greet aliens when they come to the planet? If someone remembers that year, because we did several shows on that, I just can't remember when that happened, when they literally put out that they were preparing what they were going to do when they were meeting aliens to come. The reason that is significant is because they have already come. They're here. They are amongst us at this time. And we're going to have several individuals who come forward. And interesting enough, we've had a few people throughout the history of humanity that have come forward and said that they are not from here. And their bodies are being used as an avatar. This is going to be a little different. And I'm not saying that that still won't happen, but this is going to be a little different. Okay. Like it's going to be some undeniable facts. And for anyone who wants to see any of this, your site will be available for you to experience, to see, and to have these encounters. Okay. You won't have to go searching for them. It will it will visit you. You will have this visitation. It will come to you. Okay. Maybe like you, not like you thought, but it will happen because they are here. I want to talk about the technology a little bit because, as you know, artificial intelligence. This is what we call it, even though I think that name will eventually evolve itself. And we will start to question where this intelligence is actually coming from. You know, we have something unique that's happening on the 19th. Well, we have something unique that's happening right now. And actually, right now, what is it? 3I Atlas, right now is closer to Earth than it's ever been. And so, my thoughts about 3I Atlas is that it is a seed ship that is here. And what I mean by a seed ship, it is a ship that is bringing in information, intel, and they are dispersing these seeds like little, how you take this is how spirit showed me, in the summertime when you have the dandelions and you get them and you go, and you blow it. Well, those dandelions go out and when they land, they grow flowers, dandelions from them. So they are seeding the consciousness and the collective that is here. That is a part of their reasoning for being here. They're also here because they are picking up souls. They are picking up souls who are ready to leave and leave here. And that's not, we are talking about 3I Atlas, but that's not the only one that's here. We actually have quite a few visitations that's going on right now because Earth is going through a massive upgrade. and everybody want to come see it go down. They want to see it go down in the DM. They are watching and watching it go down in the DM, right? So we have that happening in the sky, and also here to help stabilize our atmosphere. So these ships, whatever you want to call them, asteroids, these cosmic stones, whatever you want to call it. I'm giving you my interpretation of that. You certainly have yours. They are here to help stabilize our atmosphere because, again, where we used to be in the Milky Way galaxy, where we used to be in the photon belt, we are no longer there. We are no longer there. And speaking of which, I want to talk about something we have to put front and center, especially in this 2026 year. In this 2026 year, one of the things that we must prioritize is going to be our health, our physical body. And some of you are feeling it right now. Remember, we are going from spending years upon years, maybe decades, in a heavy water and earth dominant energy. And we are about to transition into going into the air and fire. And I want you to think about this. If you ever remember, because this is my earliest remembrance, you let me know for you, of when you were a child, of playing in the pool all day. Maybe you went to the pool, you was in the swimming pool, you were playing in the pool and flapping around and just having a good time with your friends. And remember when you went to get out of the water, do you remember how heavy you felt? Because when you were in the water, you felt light. You felt lifeless. You understand, you could move around. I even remember when I had hurt my ankle and I was doing physical therapy and I was in the water because things that I could do in the water, I couldn't do on the physical land because of gravity and because of the pressure. So I want you to understand that this is a lot what's happening to your body. We are coming out of the water and it is not a great jump that you can make. And so right now, a lot of people are dealing with internal issues within their physical body because the water is weighing them down and you're just trying to jump up in the air and in the fire. And you can't do that. You will destroy your body because of the pressure. Just like deep divers, those who are deep divers. I remember a sister who took our class and she was a professional scuba diver. And we were asking her questions when she was talking about when she would go down into the sea. You have to train your body to be able to handle that pressure when you're underneath the water. You can't just come straight back up to the top. You will implode from within. Your organs will collapse. I want you to think about that for a moment. And so right now we are going through a very significant point of integration. So things that are going to be heavy that is coming into 2026 is going to be things like blood pressure, either high or low, right? Issues with the blood clotting, these kinds of things, right? The other thing is heart palpitations, like your heart, issues with the heart, dealing with the heart, heart things with the lungs, dealing with breath and breathing and your lungs, dealing with those type of things, your lymphatic system, people having digestive issues, not being able to keep foods down or things, can't stay in, all of these things are being impacted by this. And so we need to listen to our bodies and pay very close attention to our bodies and making sure that we are doing gentle things to move our body. One of the other things that will happen, and I'm doing my best to put this awareness out because I know many of you work in these particular fields and you know people who work in these fields. A lot of things when it comes to pilots, when it comes to people who works on boats and ships, or people who work on train, things that move. And I want you to think about it. Truck drivers, anybody who do this long driving back and forth, or you're constantly, I would say Uber and Lyft drivers and those who do Instacart too, but typically you're not doing that as much as people who are in the atmosphere. So pilots, it's going to be some case, and I've seen this case, and I pray that we are able to reach this information reaches the right people where pilots are going to need to start getting their blood checked before they take a flight, before they get on the plane to get health clearings. So eventually we will have health clearing stations inside the airport where they will check their blood, where they will check their lungs, where they will check their blood pressure and these type of things to make sure that they are safe to fly. Because of this integration, it's going to weigh heavy on them in the air, in the air. Those who are in the water driving ships, where they will become succumb in things within their physical body, right? Within their body. And making sure that they are not suffering from exhaustion. What were some of the things like exhaustion? They're not suffering from exhaustion. Things like maybe their heartbeats are irregular, making sure that these things are not going on with them. And so they're safe to operate these vehicles. They're safe to drive. They're safe to be in these vehicles so they're not a harm to themselves and to others. Okay. Because that's going to be significant. And even those of you who are attendants on the plane, make sure that you are moving your body. You are doing things, breath work, you're doing that. You're moving your body. You're keeping up with the regulation of your lymphatic system, making sure things are flowing throughout your body properly, making sure that you're eating healthy and maintaining your body as well, and it was something else I was going to say. So, and doing the breath work and paying attention to your blood pressure, having your heart, so many lives have been saved by an Apple Watch, love it, hate it or not, but Apple Watch then saved a lot of lives. And I would recommend that if you work in this field that you get some kind of watch. If you don't want Apple, although that's one of the best ones on the market, quiet as it's kept, that's been told in the spirit world, to get you one of those watches so you can have that watch on you, so you can know your heartbeat, so you can know your breathing, things like the Aura Ring, all of these things, these will become tools, but these are necessary tools so you can have a good connection about what is happening within your body. Okay. Because it's going to be impacted at a great level. For many of us, what we're going to spend a lot of time doing is taking care of our nervous system. That's going to be front and center, your nervous system. You're going to have to take care of your nervous system. So a lot of nervous system regulation we're going to talk about. Okay, let's continue on. I told y'all it was a lot. Y'all let me know how you feel about this information as we continue. Here is the other thing. It's going to be a heightened year, okay? For third eye. For the third eye. Heightened year for the third eye. As well as the crown chakra. But you can't talk about the crown chakra unless you talk about the crown chakra soulmate, which is the root chakra, because the root chakra and the crown chakra goes together. So we are going to have that trinity of these three key points: the root chakra, the crown eye, the crown chakra, and the third eye. These are going to be the three. And I probably will do another show and go deep into that, because that is going to be a whole nother other. Okay. I want to talk about our food for a minute, because this is going to be significant. First of all, there's going to be some laws that get passed, and they're definitely going to be presented this year, and it's going to ban certain foods. Hear me. I've seen this clear, and it does feel like it's going to happen this year. Certain foods are going to be banned. It's going to be a major shutdown of a lot of restaurants and fast foods, particularly those that are chained restaurants. Okay. Lots of breakouts with different contamination to foods. And because of weather conditions, it's going to cause a lack of food. Here is one of my top predictions that has been coming in for a couple of months for 2026. 2026 will be the year that most of the world, okay, because we know there's parts of the world where this is already common, where people will eat less food. When people will eat less food, you will eat less food than you probably have ever eaten in your life in 2026. Less food. Yeah. Less food. Less food. There's going to be major food recalls. And then there's going to be a rise. So I want to talk to all of my chefs out here. There is going to be a rise in restaurants, and particularly when it comes to the Western world, and particularly in America, there's going to be a rise where these are going to be family restaurants like they used to be back in the day. And the food that we eat most of the time is only what's available and what is close to where we live, what city, what state, what county, what province, what borough, we live in. And these are going to be family run restaurants. And here's the thing. I've talked about this before. They have been prepping this, and they no longer are going to be the mom and pop shop, but these are going to be restaurants, and people are going to do more eating out because they're going to have the larger source of food, because some things are just going to be, I'm not going to say impossible, but too expensive because of the drought, because of the flooding, and because of some of the regulation, to be able to properly get your hands, or expensive, on certain fruits and vegetables, herbs, and different things. And so there will be these born chefs that came back to the planet that understand about nutrition. They understand about food and eating. And this is going to be the new pastime of entertainment. It's going to be the family coming together around the table. There will also be restaurants that are, I wrote the name down because it was so weird to me when I seen it. So in this vision, I was going into this restaurant. And when I went into this restaurant, I told the lady that it was just two. And she said, okay, come in. But it was a restaurant where they seat you at a table, but there's other people sitting at a table. So it could be two families and they will sit at the same table together. It's going to be the rebuild of what we understand community to be. It will be a lot of farm to table restaurants. And so our new farmers that kicked off about 4 to 5 years ago, they are going to start opening up restaurants. And most of them, they're going to be opening up restaurants. And this is going to happen worldwide. It's going to be the norm. And what we're going to start seeing going away are these chain restaurants. You're going to see these restaurants going away. And you're going to start seeing more of these independent restaurants or even these pop up restaurants. In fact, it's going to be the new unicorn, one of the new unicorn businesses to become billionaires of the exchange of wealth going forward. It's going to be through food and having pride in this food that's being served and how it's being presented and how it's being cooked and the nutritional value and all of these things. So that's going to be the major shift. So we're going to go through the period where there is a lack of food in a lot of places around the world, or not able to get certain foods to certain places, or because of a flood or because of a disaster, we're not going to be able to get to food. And that is going to spiral so many people in doing the community style dining, the table, like we would do back in the day. We're going to see so many of these, and there will be pop ups where there will be traveling chefs that travel with teams and they take their food to partner, lots of collaboration. So maybe someone lives in Texas and they want to go to New York and they collaborate with the local restaurant there for that chef to come in, and those two come together and they open. Another thing, it's not going to be a stagnant menu, meaning you only can eat what is available on the menu. You can't come every day and say, this is my favorite dish and I want to eat this all year long or every time I come. You may come on a Monday and come back on a Friday, and there's a completely different meal because they're only going to be sourcing what is available for you to source. That's it. There is no, oh, last time I was here, this person, they make the best, homemade mac and cheese, and I want mac and cheese. Well, we don't have mac and cheese. That's not on the menu. When you leave outside of America and you travel to other places around the world, particularly in Europe and other places, before you go in the restaurant, they will put the menu on the outside. They do this in places in Vegas too. So if you've been in Vegas, they kind of have that modern after after Europe. And so when you look at the menu on the outside, it'll tell you what is being served that day. And you make that decision before you even enter into the restaurant and you begin to get in and you sit down. I'm glad someone mentioned coconut, because coconut oil is going to be the coconut oil is going to go viral again. Okay. I know for some of us, it's a part of our lives and we live it, but coconut and apple cider vinegar is going to be the two miracle viral um, food medicine, medicinal medicines of 2026. So you guys are on it. Like I said, much of this have come into your scope and you've already been on it, but you're going to see this is going to go viral, this coconut. It's coconut and apple cider vinegar. And it's going to be people testifying to cures, lots of cures. So stay with me. Stay with me. I know I'm all over the place, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get everything to go in. Okay, so subject change, but I need to note this here. Um, I don't know if you guys remember when I was on the Brothers show, Knowledge Born Ali. Do you guys know who he is? Knowledge Born Ali. Do you all know who that brother is? Knowledge Born Ali. I was on his show as a guest. Well, I'm going to be doing another show with him coming up, and I'm going to have him come on. But we had an interesting conversation yesterday, and the conversation sort of kind of took us through a web, or at least it took me through a web. And the conversation that Ms.Blue, this all sounds like doom and gloom. It does? It sounds like doom and gloom to you? Really? I thought we were doing great in 2026. Well, stay tuned if it sounds like doom and gloom. Maybe you didn't, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we listen, it's some good stuff in there because the weather that we're having in 2026 is nowhere near what we've had in the last couple of years. So I hope y'all ain't getting scared because I'm gonna tell y'all to go somewhere if you get scared. Y'all know where that is, right? But hold on, let me tell you. So I had a conversation with the brother, Knowledge Born Ali. And when I was, and it's going to get better here, just stay with me, Knowledge Born Ali. And when I was having a conversation with him, we started talking because recently he was in New York and he had a chance to be on the Brother Black Dot show. And so the Brother Black Dot, and you guys know who the Brother Black Dot is. I interviewed him as well, connected back with the Brother Black Dot through the Brother Rich, right? So we got Brother Rich here, we got the Brother Black Dot here, and then we have the Brother Knowledge Born Ali. Okay, so me and him are having a conversation and we're talking about this upcoming show that we're going to do and talking about that. And I asked him a question because I watched the interview with him and Black Dot, and I asked him who was his mother. And so he said, Ms.Blue, I'm going to send you a video so you can see the video. So you can see the video, and that will explain a lot. And so I was working, still writing my notes and doing everything. And oh, y'all are going to love this. Y'all are going to love this. This is going to blow your mind because it blew my mind. I haven't even told him yet. So my love to you, brother Knowledge Born Ali. I'm gonna give you the full story, but I have to drop this here because it's on my heart and it's coming up again. So anyway, I'm watching the video of his mother. And it was a lecture that was done in Europe of his mother and Black Dot. And I'm listening to his mother as she begins to speak, and I start to get chills. Like, not the kind of scary chills, like chills, like really, really good chills. And I am all snuggled up in my bed. I got my PJs on and my blanket, and I am watching this video and I am sucking it all in. And as she continues to tell her story about her getting into her work, and I'm not going to spoil it for you because the brother's going to come on and he's going to talk about it. But as we get ready to get into the story, it hits me because I got a channel and I was a little confused about the channel, and somebody had asked me about it a couple of months ago and it didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me. I couldn't put two and two together. It didn't add up. Like it wasn't adding up. Like I was thinking, okay, Blue, you need to wait a little bit more. You need to get a little bit more clarity. Maybe you're not understanding what's coming through. Don't jump the gun on this one. And someone had wrote me a letter and asked me, when were were we going to do away with child mandatory, let me say it carefully, mandatory immunization, vaccination for children. For children. And I told them at the time that it was coming, but it wasn't here yet. And then I got a channel about it, about a woman. And I knew this was a woman that was the catalyst behind making this happen, behind making this, to putting this into motion. It's going to be a slow rollout. So I don't want anybody thinking this is something that's going to take place or any of this tomorrow. It's a slow rollout. But then after I got the channel, a couple of months later, I want to say I had this vision that I was standing there and I didn't put none of this together. And there was these people and they had these picket signs and they were all cheering and they were saying, this is a win. And we're going to go state to state and we're going to do this, this, and this. And we're going to do this and we're going to do this. And they were standing there. And then I seen Wall Street. You know how on Wall Street where they ring the bell and they were like, ding, 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 ding. They flashed the camera. And they went to Wall Street. And there were some people standing, a whole bunch of people standing in a circle on Wall Street. And Wall Street, there was people on Wall Street. I haven't figured this part out, but they were so excited that they had did it. So they was like, yes, this is a great mark in history. Ding, 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 ding. We're going to acknowledge this before we open up the Wall Street stock market. We're going to acknowledge, and maybe if you guys don't know, but they have eliminated mandatory vaccination for all children, for all babies and all children being born. And this is just a great landmark. This is, a great thing in history. And we wanted to bring it to Wall Street. And there was a lady who was there speaking, a lady and a man, they were speaking, sister and a brother, and they was just ringing the bell. Ding, 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 ding. Fast forward. I'm watching this video of Knowledge Born Ali's mother. I go to sleep and she tells me in a dream that she was the one that was the catalyst for doing away with all of these vaccination and immunization for children. I start researching, not researching her mother, but not researching his mother, researching. I come across this video, and anyone who knows this, please, please let me know if it's true. I see this gentleman, this brother from New Jersey, and he says, ladies and gentlemen, New Jersey is working so we can no longer have mandatory immunization, vaccination for children. It was like 4:00 in the morning. I go back to sleep. I wake back up. I can't find what I found. But then I put the pieces together as I'm writing the show and going over my notes tonight, that there will no longer be soon, and we will start opening up that portal in New Jersey. And I know Knowledge Born Ali's mother is the one who propelled this forward. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's where they lived, in New Jersey, in that area. I just was like, wow, wow, wow. So my point here is I want to let you know that spirit is talking. The ancestors are speaking and things are changing. And you will see, we have to be patient because 2026 is going to be a year of patience. Year of patience. and things are going to, you will see. It's never been a time that Spirit showed me something that later it did not come to pass. Like I did not be able to connect the dots on those things and see them. You will see glimpses of them, right? So I wanted to share that because I got asked that question quite a bit throughout the years. And that's another thing that we will see. And it will be great movement that comes to this immunization. But what is going to take its place is a nutritional plan. And what I did see, because I don't just get channels and then just leave it. Like I told you guys, even with all of this weather, even the things happening with all this fire, even with all the things that's happening with crashes and all of these disasters that could possibly happen, I work from the position that we utilize our collective energy to bring awareness and to connect to a different timeline that's in the best interest for all of us. We have been doing that since been doing that, and I will continue to do that. We are not stagnant here. We are impacting the weather, the planet. We are impacting the astrological lineup, what happens with the sun and the moon. We are impacting it as much as it's impacting us. Some of the points on the planet where the genius children will be born. Number one, hands down, continent is going to be India. India is going to be on the rise when it comes to a lot of these spiritual children being born. Not that they can't be born in America. I'm not trying to take none of our babies away, but I'm letting you know that there is an uprise. They're going to be leading the way for the origin children. And next, it's going to be a major, major disruption that happens that is going to be a ripple effect. And it's going to come from the continent of Africa. And it's going to be an influencer out of Africa. That's something they say, do, or somewhere they're at where they're filming and showing. And it's going to go viral and it's going to change things in the world. Period. Period. And it's going to be one of those situations where that person goes from a creator, from a content creator, to going straight into more purposeful work. Kind of like, remember the girl Greta, the little girl Greta that was causing all the hoopla? Remember when all of that was happening and she was talking about climate change and all of those different things? That same kind of energy. But this person is going to be someone who's a creator, content creator that's coming out of Africa. And they're going to be somewhere. I think it's going to happen like, they're going to disclose something, but not with the intent of what they realize they're disclosing. And it's just, it's going to do something. I'm giving you guys some stuff because we're almost up at 2 hours. The other thing that's happening is spiritual movement is happening. And so because of that, there is going to be some very polarizing energies that happen. But before I talk about the spiritual movement, I got to take a step back. I don't want to get ahead of myself. And I want to talk about how there's going to be major hotels shutting down. Major hotels shutting down, and hotels are going to start turning into apartments. Major malls shutting down, and they're going to start turning into living spaces. Like at one time when a lot of factories moved out of cities, those factories became condominiums. The same kind of thing is going to happen in those living spaces. In those particular living spaces, those things are going to happen. Those kinds of things are going to happen. Spiritual movement is going to be coming up. And what's going to happen, and I say this with love, the church is going to become very quiet, almost like they don't exist. But they're going to be going through a revamp period. not because anything is wrong with them, but the church is going to become very quiet, very, very quiet. There will be a new movement on the planet, a new spiritual movement on the planet. It's going to be groups of people, quite a few groups of people that are going to start identifying themselves as such. And they're even going to want that to be, you know, how they ask you, what is your faith? They're going to have this as their faith. So a lot of that is going to happen. There's going to be some new laws and different things in place that's going to ban certain games and also ban certain movies. Now, we already in the last couple of years seen a lot of books get banned, but it's going to start moving into more of a digital space. And so there's going to be bans of certain types of violent games and different sort of psychological kind of movies. It's going to be on a ban. The other thing, America is ushering in the point where they will start, and I talked about this many years ago, when they will start getting ready to do a new constitution. And so that is the movement. There will be a new constitution that is made. You know, I made jokes many years ago and I said we should take the constitution that we have, find a very beautiful building, put it in there, you know, make it state of the art where people can go in and visit it and or recognize the constitution we once had and have our new constitution. So we are moving into that. I want to get to this other part. You guys, I have so much more. I will have to do a part 2, but I want us to get into telling you the preparation of the things that you need to do to get yourself energetically in alignment for this year. And if I didn't tell it here, I need to tell it here. Some of the things that I will tell you for those of you who have invested a lot of money in cryptocurrency. This ain't that year. And I'm going to tell you why. I seen this truck, like a dump truck, like back in the day, they used to have these Tonka trucks, like a huge Tonka truck going up this hill. And when the Tonka truck got to the top of the hill, all the coins fell out, rolled down and rolled to the bottom. And, you know, Spirit kind of showed me in the records that there will be a very deep decline within crypto. It doesn't mean that it's not going to rise again because we know with these things there is a rise and a fall, but it means if you have a large investment in there and you can't afford to lose that investment, and I'm certainly not giving you financial advice, but this is something for you to think about. The housing market is going to go down primarily in America and also in other places in Europe. It's going to go down, but we all have to get to the middle of the year and we will see a great decline in that. The other thing, the price of oil. The price of oil is going to kind of go up and down. But remember, oil also is perfume. So you want to know why perfume is so high? While oil is so high, that's one of the reasons why the oil is so high and perfume is so high, because they run in the same circle. So I want to tell you that. Lots of spiritual energy medicine is coming online. So for those of you who want to work in any of the modalities, starting a holistic business, anything alternative, this is going to reign supreme this year. This is the time for you to start putting your work out there, getting ready to start that business, to do that work that you want to do. This is that time because we are going to be getting thrust even further into this new spiritual year. A lot of companies are going to switch their insurance policy to being more preventative than being care. And so therefore, you're going to see that they're going to stop covering a whole lot of disease and ailments and things that are going on. They're going to stop paying for a lot of these medicines and different things. And because of that, there is going to be an uprise. Remember, whenever something shifts, it just means that it is time. The collective is calling for something else greater, hopefully. And in our case, it's enough of us on the planet for something greater to take its place, particularly when it comes to the West. And so, what's going to happen is they're going to start paying for so many doctor visits, which is going to, in turn, really encourage people. Remember, we talked about responsibility, spiritually mature. It's going to require you to come into more sovereignty, and people are going to start doing things to take better care of their health. And so they're going to be looking for practitioners and people who specialize in different things. But companies, or more companies, I should say, are going to start paying for supplements. They're going to start paying for seeing naturopathic doctors. They're going to start paying for more alternative things. And these things will be covered by your insurance company. Eventually, we will get to the point where frequency and energy medicine are going to be included into your plans. And so, what's going to happen is you're going to see a great shift from a lot of people who got PhDs, who are licensed in the medicine world. They're going to start jumping over to the holistic world. Well, the good thing about that is that you have to use discernment. And so, someone who may have been working in the medical world, just because now they see that this is where the money is going, that doesn't mean that all of a sudden tomorrow they take a weekend class and you're going to let them start feeding you herbs and start telling you different things. So we have to use discernment, because people are going to move wherever they feel the currency is moving. Okay. And so, for those of us who are here and we're doing the work, you definitely need to make sure that you're putting yourself out there and you're putting your work out there. So, I want to say that. So, those are some key things. I'll go into that if we do a part 2 and on other shows as well. But I want to talk to you because so much about this year is about clarity. I want you to just drill that into your brain, clarity, because it will be a lot of fog that is going on. And I want you to understand that one of the things, me, Ms.Blue, if you're new to me, I can help you understand. My value is clarity. And when I say my value is clarity, I truly mean that, is that I help people cut through the mental noise, through the emotional overwhelm, and the spiritual confusion, because it's a lot of spiritual confusion out here. I teach mastery of the emotional response system. I help people hear their own inner guidance for clarity, so that the outcome of their life is a high vibrational, fulfilled, and healthy life. When you leave me, you don't leave inspired, you leave organized, right? And empowered. That's what you want. You leave a free thinker knowing that you are equipped to tap into your multisensory abilities, to be able to connect yourself with your spirit team, your ancestors, and to navigate your life with clarity. And so, with this being the year of clarity, working towards mastery. And that's one of the things that I'll talk about my upcoming class, and all the classes that I teach is about mastering yourself. And that's primarily what it is. So when individuals who have worked with me, they are leaving organized. You're not all over the place. And you are living a high vibrational life, a life that is fulfilled, a life that is healthy. Now, we can get into all the schematics all day, and I'm a girl for that, but that's what it's really about. And 2026 is not just about wishing, It's also a year about building. If you look at the 2 and the 6 and you see the 8, that is builder energy that you're dealing with. And so, one of the things that I have coming up, starting at the first of the year, is the Dream Makers to Reality 12-week class. And Dream Maker exists for those who are ready to lead their life with consistency, master their emotional response system, and create clarity instead of force. Number 1, it's a 12-week class. It's a container for vision, for regulation, through follow through. So you will know how to manifest and create these things in your life. And if you feel called to build and not just dream, then I want you to know that the Dream Makers is open for you. Now, we're going to get into these steps here because these are some of the things that you need to definitely get a handle on. We're going to talk about them. Also, I want to bring this to the stage here. For years and years and years, one of the things that we have called the chat is the Blue Room. And I love that. That was a beautiful era of the Blue Room. But affectionately, because of the work and because of the beings that have come through this space, we have now upgraded ourselves. And the upgrade, the download that I got is called the Visionary Collective. And so when you're here and you're visiting us in this space, this is the Visionary Collective. So now I want to talk to you guys about what you need to do to prepare yourself and be in alignment for 2026. These are going to be personal things for you to do. And so we're going to take a little intermission. I hope that's all right with y'all. I'm going to put on some music for y'all and I'm going to be right back. Oh my goodness. What a time to be alive and growing up on planet Earth.
If you really want it, you gotta be it. As Ms.Blue has shared with the world, it's all about frequency. If you feel it, show it. If you want it, grow it. If you believe it, know it. It's all about frequency. If you dream it, live it. If you receive it, give it. Nothing's missing, I'm it. It's all about frequency. In the past I thought I lost it, but the truth was always near. Every scar became a teacher. Every fall just brought me here. Now I'm rising with the healing. Every light inside of me, not becoming what I'm chasing. I am the frequency. You feel it, show it. If you want it, grow it. If you believe it, know it. All about frequency. Ask the question, how is this possible? The answer subtle, synchronicities audible. Keys unlocking, belief expanding. Frame by frame, new life commanding. No chase, no match, I embody the key. The light I own unlocks destiny. Raise my vibration, reality shifts. Every dream I desire already exists. Nothing's coming to me, no, no. Already here, when I raise my vibration, the vision is clear. Vision is clear. If you really want it, you gotta be it. As Ms.Blue has shared with the world, it's all about frequency. If you feel it, show it. If you want it, grow it. If you believe it, know it. It's all about frequency. If you dream it, live it. Live it. If you receive it, give it. Oh, nothing's missing. I'm it. I'm it. It's all about frequency. In the past, I thought I lost it, but the truth was always near. Every scar became a teacher. Every fall just brought me here. Now I'm rising with the healing. Every light inside of me, not becoming what I'm chasing. I am the frequency. You feel it, show it, show it. If you want it, grow it, grow it. If you leave it, know it, know. All about frequency. Ask the question, how is this possible? The answer subtle, synchronicities audible. Keys unlocking, belief expanding. Frame by frame, new life commanding. No chase, no match, I embody the key. The light I own unlocks destiny. Raise my vibration, reality shifts. Every dream I desire already exists. Nothing's coming to me, no, no. Already here, when I raise my vibration, the vision is clear. Vision is clear. If you want it, grow it, grow. If you leave it, know it, believe it. It's all about frequency. If you dream it, live it, live it. If you receive it, give it. No, nothing's
All right. Thank you all for your patience. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we're going to keep going. How are we all doing? Everybody's still hanging in there. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And definitely, if you're new here, don't forget to let us know that as well. And I thank you all so much. All right, let's keep going because there were some things I had to go and just get my notes because I knew it was some things that I was leaving out and I didn't want to leave that out. I didn't. So we talked about it, but I'm going to give you some countries that's going to be sort of some hot spots for the year. And I know I gave you some, but I want to give you this: Spain, England, New Zealand, Thailand, Korea, Russia, and South Korea too. Russia, the UK, the United Kingdom, China, Turkey, the continent of Africa, to include the Middle East as well, Egypt, the United States. And I could talk about some cities, a couple of cities. I don't know if I mentioned it: Kansas, Oklahoma, especially when we start getting into the weather. Even some things going on in Seattle, Georgia, a couple of places like that, and even parts of Texas as well. New York City is going to be a hot spot. Okay. Hot spot. So we talked about the food, and I want to talk about the food because there's going to be some new laws, like I told you, that will be coming into place. And more companies, insurance companies, and more businesses will start to pay their employees for supplements and herbs. We talked about homegrown foods. So there's going to be some things that take place. And granted, I don't know if this will be 2026. It feels a little further out, but you will actually get rebates from the government. Now, this is primarily in the US and in the UK, where you will get rebates from the government to pay people to grow their own food. Yes. And they will also start to give out rebates from employers when people get a clean bill of health. So it's almost like one of those things where you will get a clean bill of health. And when you get the clean bill of health, what will happen? Uh, you will get your money back at the end of the year because you had that. We will also have the pyramid table for nutrition. There's going to be a new nutritional plan that comes out, and it's going to have less food on it. Like I said, I one of my predictions is that you will eat less food this year than you probably have ever in your life. Less food. We talked about the rise of the family dining. We talked about the rise of chefs and gathering, restaurants, a lot of restaurants closing. Now, here's something I want you to know. In this particular year, 2026 is not a wealth year, not openly, right? It's not a poor year, but it's not a wealth year. Um, but uh, I'll talk about that in a minute because I don't want to get us too far off. But let me go into what I want you to do before you start to work and start putting your work out there. Before you start making any kind of plans for 2026. In fact, 2026, one of the things I want to add to the ticker of 2026 is going to be visionary. It is the year of visions and visionary, right? But before you get to vision boards, so 2026, no vision boards, no lists, no journaling, no what's next, at least not yet. That is not what you need to do. Um, there is something, and I'm going to give you a list of things. And I need you guys to really, really pay attention to this because this is going to be your game changer here. And for those who are in the DreamMakers course, don't worry, we're going to go into this step by step in detail, as well as those who will be joining the Futuristic Activation 2026 group. The number one thing that I want you to work on before you do anything, before you start anything, the first thing that you're going to need to do is upgrade your identity. Yeah, that part. You're going to need to upgrade your identity. I'm talking about mentally, I'm talking about physically, I'm talking about spiritually, I'm talking about your environment. You're going to need to upgrade your identity. Now, we don't have enough time to go into all the nuances of what that looks like. But that's your first thing. Don't start planning out, oh, I'm going to do this year and I'm going to do. No, 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 no. Take this time. You got to upgrade your identity. This is the year of the fire horse, and you have to be able to move. Everyone has got to move this year. I don't care if you're a cat, dog, rabbit, rooster, pig, ox. I don't care what your sign is. This is a year of movement. Okay? So you have to move. The other thing that I want to tell you is I'm going to give you the list because we don't have enough time to go into all of them. Number 1, upgrade your identity. Number 2, in the year of 2026, to be in this alignment, what is going to be a power move is everything you do has got to be portable. It's got to move. It's got to move, meaning, okay, Ms.Blue, you doing this show. We see you, but can you do this show on the road? Can you be portable with what you do? You need to invest, create, and figure out a portable way to do what you do, because this is the year that you need to be seen. It's a visual year. And so where the magic happens is if you can be seen. So those of you who like hiding, those of you who like to not interact, it's not going to work. Not like it could work for you. So because this year is so visible, that's why. But you have to make sure, number 1, you got to upgrade your identity. It's got to be upgraded. It can't stay the same. It cannot. It cannot. And what you do has got to be portable. It's got to be able to move with you. I want you to think of that. Everything you do is got to be able to move. It's got to move with you. And you have to become visible. There is a increasing number, and maybe you guys remember this several years ago, before the whole AI craze and everything, because I even taught this throughout the years in some of my classes. And I taught them how to use in the priestesshood, how to use emojis. And you could send energy to people. You could shift energy. How you can even send healing to people through these emojis. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I was one of them people online who was first going crazy with the emojis, putting the little hearts, putting the little lady with the little red dress on, using these emojis. So here's what's happening. And I dug into the records to figure this out. And I want to say about 2 years ago, many of those of you who interact with me, you will notice I don't use emojis like that anymore. Because when AI first came out, AI started using the emojis. Did y'all notice that? It was able to mimic how we would use emojis. It was mimicking the emojis. And so often you could go to someone's page and you could see how the comment section, like these weren't real people, like it was some sort of spam with these emojis. They wasn't real people. It wasn't really saying nothing. It was heart, stars, this, that. Just like we comment. A lot of us comment heart, stars, this, that. You would see the emojis. But remember, everything has intelligence. And AI picks up on patterns where some of us are afraid to study patterns. AI picks up on patterns and it does it at warp speed. And so now you have these bots. They don't use emojis. They're trying to get ahead of your intelligence. And so these bots are not using emojis. They're using full intelligent sentences. And I'm going to show you what I was seeing in the spirit world. Is that a lot of real people are going to get labeled as bots because they don't want to be seen, they don't want to be heard, and they're not contributing. And the bots are going to take over. So when I say you have to become visual, that means that everywhere you go, because quiet as it's kept, online is reality. No longer can you say that online is not real. Oh, online is very real. It's a part of our reality. And so, if you really want to maintain your identity, then you have to express real-time active thoughts. Because when you don't, you are teaching your mind and your brain to play small, to stay invisible, to not express yourself, and to not put yourself out there. That's what you're doing. You're training your brain to not respond intelligently to life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You understand? You are training your brain to dumb you down. And we don't realize this. And this is why a lot of the cellular companies, I know Apple does it, it's trying to put these little reminders out there to not spend so much time on the internet. Because when you're on the internet and you're just there consuming information, you have traded places with artificial intelligence and you've become the bot. I know that's a provocative ass thought. It's some shit that should make you shake, that you are present somewhere and you don't want to be seen. It should scare the shit out of you, whether you're in person or whether you're online. When you are just sitting back in the cut, you become the bot. Ain't that deep? You become the bot and you're training your system to not respond. And so it takes something drastic. And then you're just reacting, which is what bots do. So now you're performing like the bot and the artificial intelligence, and it's coming back as it's the super being. You can't let this happen because it is happening. And so I want you, whatever you have to do, no matter how small you get, you have to start being seen and participating in your life, because the less that you participate, the more that you're going to get excluded out of your own life, because you will not become the creator within your sphere. It will be something or someone else or something artificial that will be driving you around in your life. And you can think it's a game if you want, but we spend a lot of time online. In fact, all of our business, education, and things that we're doing, these things are all online. So we can no longer say what happens online is not real. That's a lie. It is not in this physical world, but it is a part of what is really happening in this world. So you have to want to be seen. I'm so glad that in my era of being a bot, of not wanting to be seen online, that I did that in that era. Because I would not survive in this era doing it. It's time for you to be seen, to be heard. You matter. What you think matters. It's so easy for clones to be out there. It's so easy for bots to come out there, because so much of the collective don't want to be seen, don't want to be heard, don't want to be associated, don't want to connect, don't want to put their opinions, scared to say something. They don't want to participate, but they want to be present. That's a stand-in. That's an NPC. That's a bot. That's a placeholder, whatever you want to call it. That's someone that's not real. That's not energy. You're teaching your energy to not engage with your atmosphere. That's what you're teaching it. You are not significant in the atmosphere you're in. I'm not talking about being a distraction. I'm not talking about being a nuisance. I'm talking about participating in your life. I am here. I'm going to participate. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? And I give this example because we talk about more things we want to see in the world. But we don't really support those things like we should. We don't, honestly. You understand? It's hard enough to get somebody to say, "Can you like this? Can you share your thoughts about this? Can you say that you were here? Oh no, I don't want nobody to know I'm there. Oh no, I don't want to say nothing. Oh no. Oh no." Well, 2026, this ain't that year. I'm telling you, if you want to get ahead and get in this energy, you have to become visible. Visible. The other thing, this is a year of alliances. Well, you can't be a part of my alliance if you quiet. If the only time you want to be in the shadow, you can't be a part of my alliance. It's just not going to happen. So this is about Alliances. Now, again, remember, this is the energy for leaders. This is for the visionaries. And so if you feel called to this is who I'm speaking to. If it's not for you, it's not for you. No shade, no cap. Don't worry about it. I'm talking to those who are ready, that says, I know I'm ready, and I'm ready to just let me go do what I know that I'm feeling called to do at this moment in time, to step up and step into it. So it's about alliances. Mm, mhm, 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 mhm. Next, you have to have clarity on your value. You see how I told you guys what I bring to the table? I know what I help people do, how you walk away feeling. You have to have clarity of your value and the things that you're offering. It's not enough to say, I want to help people. That ain't enough. You got to have clarity on what does that look like? What is the value that you are bringing? What is that offering? What is that thing that you are doing? So spend some time in that. That's what it's about. And here's another thing. Uh, mm, mhm, mhm. You have to strengthen your emotions and ground them. Your emotional response system has to be strengthened within inside of you. That's a lot of what we're going to be working on is our emotional response system. I have spent the last couple of decades of teaching you that because when you have clarity, your emotional response system don't have you anxious, don't have you sad, don't have you frustrated, don't have you feeling powerless, doesn't have you lacking self-love. It don't have you doing any of that. And if you do get to that point, you have tools and techniques, and you immediately know what to do to bring yourself back into that high frequency again. It's a temporary state of being, very temporary state of being. Next, this is a tough one. It's a tough one. You got to start before you're ready. You got to launch that shit. You got to do that shit before you're ready. It's going to look messy. It ain't going to be right, but you got to do it. You got to go for it. You got to do it. You got to learn along the way. You have got to stop being scared of yourself. I want to go back and talk about alliances because this is a collaboratory year, not a competition year, where there will be different alliances that are formed and different collaborations. And you need to get you a team of 5. And you need somebody there on that team of 5 that's going to cheer you on. Not bullshit you, but cheer you on. You need that. You need that person that's going to be able to cheer you on. The other thing that you're going to do is that you need a person that is on your team that is supportive. That's a support system, someone you could go to, you can bounce ideas off of, you can get the support that you need. They can support you, you support them, and you bounce them ideas off. You need that person on your team. The other thing that you're going to need is you're going to need somebody to challenge your ass, to not let you get comfortable, to not let you just think, oh, you've done enough. You're going to need somebody to challenge you. Most people don't want that. And then you're going to need somebody on your team that's way ahead of you. Way ahead of you. It's where you trying to get. You're not trying to be like them, but you're trying to get like them. You understand what I'm saying? You need that person on your team to challenge you to upgrade and to keep upgrading yourself and moving forward, not towards their goals, towards your goals. That's your alliance. No longer, this energy of 2026 doesn't support the lone wolf, and it doesn't support people working in packs. It doesn't support that. Not when you want to be and do the things that you know that you're called to do and to experience. For once, I don't like that word becoming. I stop using that word becoming and I try to substitute it whenever. You're not becoming, we're being. But guess what? 2026 is the year of becoming. Why? Because if you started out right, you changing your identity. Your whole ID done changed. You're not even the same person you was in 2025. And you can look around in your life and you can see that everything has changed because you can't change and everything stay the same, baby. That can't happen. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? Where you change and everything else stay the same. You got the same friends, you hang out in the same places, you wear the same clothes, you eat the same food. Where they do that at? Where can you change and nothing else around you change? Where does that, just tell me while I drink on this, where they do that at? Mm-hmm. Where they do that at? You got to change. You got to change. You got to focus. You've got to change. You got to show up different. And that's going to be a challenge. That's going to be a challenge. You got to show up different. When you show up, you need people to say, you changed. Oh, you need to hear that. Somebody in your sphere is going to tell you, oh, you done change. I had one of my closest friends of 30 plus years, got real down and dirty with me and said, you know what, Blue, you done change. And I said, thank God. Thank you. You answered a question. I know it don't feel good for either of us right now, but baby, that's what I want. I want you to know I did change and it's for the better. And did. I changed. I sure did. I sure did. And maybe you ought to change. You need to change too. Mm-hmm. You need to change. Oh, yeah. You damn right I changed. Because that stuff that used to fly back then, oh, that don't fly no more with me. I done changed. I done grew up. I'm starting to learn more about who I am not so I can recognize who I am. That's the change. That's the change. So you need to be changing. These are the things. When you do this, you will have clarity. I think we underestimate clarity. I think we underestimate how good it feels to have clarity. We're talking about supernatural powers, not some stuff we read in comic books. I'm talking about clarity because that's the real superpower. When you got clarity, who gonna check you, boo? Who gonna stop you when you got charity? When you got clarity can't be stopped. There is no stopping you. Speaking of which, music. Got a DM from a powerful sister and brother team. She said she connected with me through the Oracle's house many years ago, Clubhouse. And she sent me some work that her and her husband did. Mind blowing. We have entered into radical rhythms. It's going to be a lot of new superstars that is coming up. Music is going to be clutch. Okay. I'm talking good vibes for the soul and for the spirit. And it's going to chart. See, right now it's not charting. Very few will make it on the charts when you start talking about something that really feeds the soul and the rhythm and the beat, is not disturbing to the mental mind and to the organs and the cells in the body. You know, that music usually don't chart. Oh, it's going to start charting. It's going to start charting, and you're going to see the emergence of all of these creatives who have been working in the background. They're going to start coming out and being fully seen. But there is a determining factor, and that is you got to be about what you say you about. That part. Support the things that is supporting you, because we are in a one vibration. And let me tell you something that one of my guides and teachers taught me about that one. I'm not talking about the doc energy, because the one can pull you into ego. I'm not talking about that part. One is instant manifestation. You know what? You know how something happens in an instant? It's like you look and then boom, it's different. This is what this one energy is. But remember, the whole universe is a mirror. So that means when you send it out, I want you to already just open, you know, what's the song by Whitney Houston? And I open my arms to you. Just go ahead and open your arms, because whatever you are sending out, it's already on its way back to you. It's already coming full-fledged ahead, right back to you. Right back to you. And you want that. When you have clarity, you want that. You want what you're putting out in the world. You want that. You're open to that. You're ready to receive. You're like, yes. Yes, all this goodness. Yes. Come give it to me. I'm here for it. That's what you want. That's what you want. So I want us all, before you start writing your list, checking it twice, saying what you gonna do, rushing towards the finish line of 2025 and trying to drop this and drop that and say you're gonna do this and say you're gonna do that. So many of you kept saying, Ms.Blue, when the class coming? When the DreamMakers? When the DreamMakers? Whoa, 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 whoa. See, because we've been in 2026 energy. We right at the door since October, November, December. For 3 months. You've gotten a taste of what this is going to feel like. A taste of what this is going to feel like. And now we're here. We're here. It's time to rest. It's time to integrate. It's time to think about that identity. What is your upgraded identity that you've been holding inside, afraid to let out? Mm-hmm. So before you pick up that pen, Before you start making those wishes, before you start doing that candle magic, before you start praying, before you start doing all of that, let's take care of our ID because there's nowhere you can go, whether that's in a virtual, a digital world, or physical world, that you can go without any kind of ID. You bring your ID with you anywhere you go and everywhere you go. So you need to take care of your identity. And don't just stop at the aesthetics. I mean, I'm an aesthetic girl, but don't stop at the aesthetics. What's your values? Because, see, this is all playing into your identity. I need you to understand what kind of values are you standing on? What does that look like? You know, what is your commandments? Because you need to have your commandments. What's your commandments that you have that you are governing yourself by? Because this ain't one of them years that you free fall. You might free fall into someone else's hell or someone else's chaos. And we all know what that feels like. You want to make sure that you are in the driver's seat of your vehicle. So start thinking about that. And once you solidify, this is who my identity is. I love that. Values are my compass and should be. This is my identity. This is not something that's going to live on paper. Remember this year, the year of the fire horse? We ain't had a fire horse in 60 years, baby. 60 years. And this energy has evolved itself, and so shall you. When you step in, you are to embody that. That is something that identity needs to be embodied. And it should look, it should feel, it should taste, it should smell different. As Kendrick Lamar so reminded us, we different. Well, that we is the whole planet. Everybody needs to be a little different. And then remember, whatever it is that you are going to do, you're going to have to do it and not feel ready. And not feel ready. You ain't going to feel ready. You're not. So when the coach says, it's time to get in the game, you ain't going to be ready. Just don't care that you're not ready. You're going to get in the game anyway. You're going to go ahead and do it anyway. You're going to go forward anyway. Yeah. 2026 has the potential to be a life-changing year. It's up to you. It's up to you. Now, there's a lot of more nuances. Excuse me. I want you guys to like and subscribe and make sure you come back because I didn't even touch on all the predictions. But remember, they're just predictions. That means it's a possible timeline for us. I need us to go ahead and hit that 500 right here in the chat. We have $4.99, baby. $4.99. That's what I'm talking about. We are upgrading. Let me upgrade you. You know? It's time to upgrade. Upgrade like we've never upgraded before. Why? Because you more than worth it. You are more than worth it. You're more than worth it. So those are going to be the steps. Those are going to be the steps. There's going to be massive job layoffs, but there's going to be so many doors that open. It's going to be hard to tell. It's going to be hard to tell. Like, which way is the economy going? Is the economy going up? Is it going down? What's going on? People getting laid off. But guess what? It's going to be so many opportunities, multi-dimensional beings. That's why you got to be able to move. You can't just do one thing. That's not going to cut it. You're not one dimensional. You got other skills. You got things that you need to hone in on. Can you cook good? Are you a great communicator? You understand? You know how to organize stuff. You got all kinds of skills and talents and things that you can do. You're not waiting on someone to give you a job. You're going to create, and the opportunities will begin to present themselves to you. So this isn't a year of waiting. It's a year of being seen. It's a year of moving forward, because see, that horse wants you to move. You got to move something. You got to shake something. You know how they say, can you shake something? You're going to have to shake something. Most importantly, self-love is going to be there. Are we going to have those ups and downs? Absolutely, we are. Are we going to be able to navigate them? I have no doubt. Is there going to be a little bit of fog? Absolutely. Right now, the fog is there because this is a chance, as my daddy would say, to catch yourself. Can you catch yourself? See, because right now, everybody's feeling the pressure of 2025 closing in on them. They feel like they're behind and they're scrambling. Scrambling. They're scrambling. No more scrambling. We need clarity. We need to get grounded, right? We need to work on our identity. We need to pull those things in. Someone asked the question, Ms.Blue, what was that about truck drivers? Truck drivers, the same thing with pilots, those driving ships, operating heavy machine. You're going to have to pay attention to your health, your physical health. Check your blood pressure. Make sure you're wearing like an Apple Watch, something to give you your heart regulations, because the atmospheric pressure is going to kind of mess with those things when you're in proximity of things that are constantly moving, and you're crossing ley lines, and how those ley lines and those energetic pools are affecting your body. So it could have your blood pressure too high, your blood pressure too low, or it could have blood clots, these kinds of things, heart problems, lung problems, lymphatic system problems, things with your circulatory system. So we have to be good stewards of these vehicles that we're traveling in. And that includes truck drivers. To make sure you're paying attention, moving your body, listening to your body, taking care of your health. It's going to be number one. We are coming out of water, heavy, thick, dense water and earth. And we are moving straight into the Akashic skies. We are in the airways. Remember, you are broadcasting, which communication is going to be key this year. The more that you communicate, the better. Not senseless communication. I'm talking about real communication, because you will be broadcasting loud, everyone. And you want to make sure that what you're broadcasting is truly what you are co-creating with God, the universe, your higher self, the most high, whatever you choose to call it. You want to make sure that you are communicating a clear message, not a fragmented, half-cocked message. It's definitely the year to work, but it's also, think about the horse. The horse offers support. It's letting you know you don't have to go it alone. The horse is there. That energy is there to help you get moving, to help you move forward, to help you move over obstacles that you may not have been able to move over or move through in the last couple of years. Like I said, some of us are in a 9-year cycle, some of us are in a 20-year cycle, and some of us are in a 60-year cycle. Yeah, we got some powerful energy this year for us to do this, Mhm. Mhm. Trying to see it's I'm not gonna get to it all, and I get that, but I really wanna get to more of it. I wanna get to more of it, but let me see here. Let me go through some of my notes. We're definitely gonna have to do a part 2, and here's one of the things that, I wanna say. When I told you guys one of the things that I do, because I recognize that there are a lot of new people here, is I help people get clear mentally, energetically, and emotionally so they can stop overthinking, trust themselves, and move forward with ease. And one of the things that I do, my work turns confusion into clarity, intuition into direction, and overwhelm into calm. You don't leave me inspired, you leave aligned. And I don't add more to your life. That's not my role. I'm not adding more to your life. I'm helping you remove what's in your way. You don't need someone to add more to your life. Needs to help you move the things that's in your way. So, mhm, 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 mhm. So, mhm. The other thing I want to tell you guys, don't forget, if you want to ask me a question, I will let you know once I'm able to open back up my books and start doing personal one-on-one um, readings that that you will I will let you know. That'll be in I thought I was going to get to it in 2025. I didn't. I'm not rushing though. I'm taking my time with the list, but what I want you to know is that I have the ask dot all about frequency 369 website.com. You can go there, and many of you have, and you can ask me a question. I will take the question. I'm going to do live shares, play your question, hear the recording, and you will be able to hear me answer it for you in real time. But one of the things that I will also share with you guys when you're doing that, what I ask is that you please participate. A lot goes in. Usually, when I have a session with a person, it lasts anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, can even go longer than that. So, when you say things like, what do my guides want me to know? That don't really work. That doesn't work because it's not about what your guides want you to know. It's about what do you want to know. I need us to start participating more in our lives and not allowing us to continuously find a way to outsource our power. It doesn't mean that our guides and our ancestors and our loved one doesn't help us. They do. But remember, we are here living this life, and their goal is to support us here in this life, not for us to have them dictate how we live our life or tell us what to do. That's not their role. And so If you've left me a question, which a lot of you did a great job, you used the whole 3 minutes and then some, and I love that. Put what it is that you want. See, a part of that is about afraid of being seen. When you say things like that, does anyone have a message from me? It's almost like you're kind of hiding a little bit. Now, I'm certainly not talking about those who have loved ones who just passed away because that's a different scenario. But I want you to focus on those things that are happening front and center in your life. What is it that you want? What is your desire? You can't ever leave your desire. But one of the things I'll tell you I know about desire cannot come from the mind. The mind is incapable of desiring. That's why a lot of people tell you don't desire anything. Well, you can't desire things from the mind. Desire can only come from the heart. And you need that. You need that. So, yeah, when you call that number, well, it's not a number, when ask.allaboutfrequency369.com, participate. Be bold enough to ask your question for real. Participate. What is it? What is it that you really are seeking, doing, wanting to know, or seeking insight or clarity about? Okay. What is it? Yeah. So we talked about quite a few things. We talked about the weather. We talked about the food industry. We talked about transportation. Oh, by the way, there is going to be a new airline that opens up, and it may not happen towards the end of the year for America, that finally is going to put us on the map so that we can have updated technology when it comes to our flight industry, because that's going to change. There is going to be some big shakeups when it comes to the train industry. And even I see a train that really just, I don't know what happened to the driver, what happened to the technology, but it's going to be some things with the train, some things that happen with the boat or port, these kind of things that come up. But we'll get into them as the year continue. But I really enjoyed being able to share some of this with you guys. And so this is about being aware. It's not about fear. And hopefully you didn't take it that way. This is actually a great year for us. There will be some things that are transpiring that's happening. Mhm. Mhm. And I also want you to know that we are living in a time where anything is possible. There is a great wealth explosion that is going on, but it's not coming through by forcing, and it's not coming through old systems or power, right? Your ability to maintain clarity, to be able to trust yourself, to listen to your intuitive voice, to use discernment, and to stay calm is where your currency is going to flow and flourish even more. But it's time to be seen, and it's time to be responsible, and it is time to get that work, because this is not the year for being lazy. It's not the year for not wanting to be seen. It's the year for you to move forward in your life and to live your life. We know nothing is promised to us. Someone asked the question, is it safe for planes and trains, or should we travel more so by driving? Actually, all transportation is as safe as it is. This is not the same. See, last year, 2025, we started out, and if you guys listen to my 2025 show, I told you that you don't want to catch a plane on an 11-day. And that stood to be true. This particular year, yeah, there will be some casualties and things that happen within planes as there is every single year, but for the most part, transportation is gonna go. What's going to arise this year, it's gonna be more downtime due to technology, due to windstorms, due to fires, due to technical glitches, all of these things. So it's not going to be a question, is it safe to fly? The question is, can I even get a flight? Can I get a flight? Can I catch a flight? Because they're going to have a lot of downtime, a lot of downtime. And so we will be looking for other modes of transportation. More people will be on the roads. More people will be traveling on the roads. It's going to be that. And it's not because it's not safe per se, but it's going to be because there are situations where the planes are being grounded. Because we're going to have highly electrical storms, a lot of electrical storms happening. Planes don't fly during those type of things. Those things are coming. Upgrades can be like healing in the hospital. Yep, I talked about that. The upgrades are going to be lots of healing in the hospital. I spoke about this a couple of years ago, but I'll talk about it here. The health and healing is going to get its own show because it's so much I got to say about health and healing. But like I told you guys, there is going to be medicines that cure now. It's like we're going to be going in the opposite direction. And I put this out about 2 or 3 years ago. And it's already starting. There's medicines now that words the medical community would not use. They're using them now. We can cure this. Cure means it's over, it's done. Okay. But there's going to be a happy medium. But here's what I need everyone to keep in mind. We are not trying to eliminate the medical world, because there are some things that are very much needed for that. But we also have other systems, alternative systems, and other ways that the body can actually heal. But here's something that I know as a energy practitioner and an energy healer. If you cannot maintain a certain frequency within your body and hold energy energetically in your body, I don't care if you do alternative medicine. I don't care what kind of surgery you get. I don't care what kind of Western medicine you do. I don't care what kind of diet or strict or veganism you do, what kind of fasting you do. If you cannot maintain energy in your physical body, none of that will be sustainable. None of it. And I know that's a hard pill for people to swallow. And this is why it's going to be all about frequency going forward. If you cannot maintain a certain frequency, none of that will matter. If you are constantly leaking energy, if you are constantly over processing and over analyzing and using your brain to burn all of your energy and it's not able to stay within your physical body, none of that matters. None of it. And so that's why one of my core teachings is about frequency and energy, which is going to be a big part of this movement that is coming up in healing, is to understand about sound and vibration and frequency and how to maintain that energy within your body. Because the truth is, everyone is a healer. Every single one of us has the ability to heal ourselves, but it's not a mind game. You can't will your mind into healing yourself. That's not how this shit work. Now, I can play with you if you want. You can have people play with your life if you want. And it's a lot of people who done played themselves up out of here. But that's not how it work. Yeah. So yeah. So we got work to do, but we up for it, or we wouldn't be here. If you wasn't up for the work, you wouldn't be here. Everybody here is really about that life. Mm-hmm. And thank you guys. Let me know. Liverpool from the UK is in the building. Come on in. So good to see you guys. And I got a big channel on the UK. I got some big channels on certain countries, which is not that. I do see, like I told you guys, a global protest that's going on. Africa is going to be a hot spot. As far as creators and those different things that is coming out of Africa, as well as the US. I talked about New Zealand. I talked about Elon Musk. I talked about that. I did some remote viewing on him. You guys would be interested in that. Maybe we'll talk about it. Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Spain, Amsterdam, Africa, the continent, Canada, Alaska, Japan. Shut down the glaciers. We talked about cryptocurrency. We talked about that. Oh, I forgot. So many people. So many people. It's going to be a lot of weddings, but not big weddings. Like, you know how back in the day people would go to Vegas to get married? It's going to be a lot of that. People are not, they're going to start making these commitments, but they're not going to be these, what we know as big traditional weddings. They're just going to kind of go like to Vegas or something like that. A lot of breakthroughs in healing breakthroughs, a lot of breakthroughs in healing. Um, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Lots of workshops and seminars. Let me see, you guys. Whew, it's a lot. Okay, this is 3 hours. I could keep going on and on and on. What's the frequency for crypto? Ooh, crypto. I see if you got a lot of money invested in crypto, it's going to take a big dip. A big dip. A big dip. And you may want to shift, and I'm not a financial advisor, but you may want to shift that around. That's going to take a big fall. I think it eventually would go back up. But it's going to take a big fall. The other thing that will happen is, oddly enough, the dollar is going to rise. The dollar is going to make some leadway. Another place that came on the map, Venezuela. I see this in my notes. I can't even go into that. Like that's a big one right there. That's a big one. Lots of women will become in different positions of power. Lots of position of power. As we start moving into like October, November of the year, it's going to be feminine energy. And I'm not just talking about women. I'm talking about feminine energy. People are going to be more in that kind of frequency space. It's going to be in that kind of frequency space. It's going to be a massive recall on vehicles, on food products. We already talked about food, that's going to be a big thing. Blackouts, we talked about that, windstorms, things with the weather, a lot of things, a lot of preparation for our season. Preparation. Maybe even as early as January, they start prepping people for fires, you know? Um, I I don't think it's gonna be as bad as I don't know, but I see California again and I cringe every time because we all know what happened in California before, as well as Canada. I even see where people come from all over the world to kind of help support and do different things. Also, see periods of time where we're going to be required to stay indoors. But I think it's going to be due more to something in the atmosphere. You know how sometimes you look at your phone and they say the air quality is low, and they tell people with certain respiratory things, or remember when they had the fires in Canada, people in New York, they were telling them to stay indoors and stuff like that. And the time that we had the red sky from the sand and windstorms that were coming from the Middle East, remember that? There's no food left to recall. Well, you guys know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. What we ingest in our mouth. There is food that is out there. Like I said, there's going to be some bands that come up with food. Come up with food. But oddly enough, food is going to be the reign supreme. Food is going to reign supreme. So we're going to have these private chefs and all of these people who are going to be doing all of these things with food, but at the same time, there could be food shortages, different shortages of things. Community meetings are going to come back. You know how they used to have, what was that? Where you see the little eye up there, the neighborhood watch. It's not going to be a neighborhood watch, but we're going to start having those things for the neighbors to get together, to know each other, just to, do that. These are going to be the things. Remember, I told you guys, back up your files, things on your computer, these kinds of things. Lots of glitches that will happen. Glitch, glitch, glitch. That's there. Lots of instant things that are happening. Yeah, like town hall meetings, these kinds of things. They're not going to be mandatory, but they're going to be actually encouraged. But I'm telling you, it's almost like you can go from this to this overnight. Like things are going to happen quickly. Yeah, communities are going to start forming alliances and going very strong. They really are. Mhm. More people are going to be homeschooling their children. I think this is the year that we will really start having great talks about the education system in America crashing. Like it already fell, but it's going to crash. And then there's going to be new schools that emerge. It feels like a lot of them will be online first until they can rebuild them, till they can rebuild them, until they rebuild them. Because our school systems are going to be rebuilt. Our education systems are going to be rebuilt. And trade schools are getting ready to come back with a vengeance. Trade schools. Yeah. Trade schools are getting ready to come back. They're going to be, trade schools are going to come back with a vengeance. With the vengeance. Other things that's going to come up, there's going to be attempt for strict regulations for a lot of the alternatives. Those of us who are like Reiki healers, uh, holistic practitioners, doulas, these type of things. But eventually, what will happen is they're going to start getting integrated into the hospitals and clinics where people are going to be there and have those lists. But the apprenticeship is coming back with a vengeance. It'll be a lot of schools that are going to strictly put their focus on apprenticeship for those who want to get into apprenticeship. The other thing is that everyone, no matter how big or small your household is, there is going to be they're going to have some sort of business in their home, meaning everyone is going to be an entrepreneur. It's almost going to be required that there is something that you are producing, that you are doing, that you are exchanging, that you are servicing or you are offering to the world. That is going to be an option for everyone. And there's going to be some sort of law that goes into place that's going to start saying, okay, if you start a business now for the next 5 years, you're going to be exempt. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to do this. By the way, that whole structure is about to come down and be revamped. I know there's been a lot of talk of it, but it's going to be lots of perks for individuals who are starting businesses, who are putting valuable things that is needed, problems being solved into the collective. Yeah. So it is definitely going to be. Remember, I told you guys, and I'll say it here again, the two most powerful people on the planet at this time is the creative and the scientist. And that's going to carry on into 2026. The creatives, where you can get creative, you can get in and you can do something creative, something that is being birthed from you, that you are putting out into the world, that you are sharing, that you are doing, and finding joy, because that's it. This is the year of the visionary, the leaders, right? So finding joy, that's what you want. You want to be in a healthier state. So be kind to yourself, go easy on yourself. Um, Particularly as we get ready to cross over, just think of yourself as being inside the swimming pool, deep diving down into the center of the ocean. And don't think that you just going to fly up and you're going to go up in the air and it's not going to impact your body. So be easy with yourself. And for those of you who are experiencing some of these ascension symptoms, yes, understand it is an ascension symptom, but you still need to be mindful and make sure that you are taking care of all of your bodies, your mental body, your physical body, your spiritual body, your etheric body. You want to take care of all of your bodies, not just one body, okay? All of your bodies. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. 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 So, all right, Visionary Collectives. This is part one. I'm going to put part two together because I feel like I was all over the place and I didn't really get a chance to get to the things. There are some messages I have for those who have children, to put that message out there. I got a particular collective message for brothers and a particular collective message for sisters as well. And then we got to talk about that mind again, because this is not the year for the mind. Okay. Especially when we in the air. You don't want to play with the mind with the air and fire. That's a recipe for disaster. Mhm. It's a recipe for disaster. I, I love to read the chat. I love to read the chat. I'm going to have to go back and read the chat, but do me a favor, share something about yourself with me in the comment section after the show. And if this show, sort of kind of connected with you in any other way, I would encourage you to like, subscribe, and, maybe even pass it on to somebody that just wants to kind of get a good start. I'm also going to come back. I'm going to give out some multivitamins and some minerals and different things and kind of go into detailed. I know we talked about some superfoods. We talked about coconut oil and we talked about apple cider vinegar. These two things will be supreme, in this year, front and center. Being able to do that. But I definitely want to come back and go into those other messages and just go deeper and even give you guys, maybe I suck with time because in the spirit world, there is no time. Even in the Akashic record, there is no time. By the way, the Akashic files are open. So for those of you in the digital download store that have the Akashic files, this is a great time to work on it. But remember what we must work on first: our identity. That's going to be number one because this fire horse, listen, don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. You want to start this year off on a good foot, right? You want to start this year off on a good foot. And I know that we will. I love you all so much. And I want to say thank you to everyone for coming by, stopping by, for being here. Let's make this a great year. I have a lot of things planned for us this year. I'll share them as need be, but a lot of fun things for us to do. And art is another thing. Yes, you need to do it. You need to do that. Uh, uh, uh. Oh, Frankie Crocker's birthday is today. King Simon is in the building. Want to give that brother a big shout out as well. He has been on the program and I've been on his program as well. And he's doing some great work in the world. So shout out to King Simon. Shout out to all the visionaries in the building tonight. The Visionary Collective. Shouts out to all of you guys. And yeah, don't forget to hit the ask dot all about frequency 369 .com. Don't forget to go there. If you have a question for me, I will answer your question live. And I'm also going to send some goodies out. Yeah, we got to upgrade that identity. That ID card has got to get upgraded. We need to upgrade that in a very profound way. Whenever you need me to come back on, King Simon, I'll be there. Just let me know. Just reach out. I'm there. Would love to do it. And yeah, so we're gonna have a good year. We're gonna talk about it. We'll break it up into segments. We'll get the breakdown for January, February, March. Because it's gonna kind of start off like this, like a little trot. When we get to February, baby, you better make sure you got your seatbelt on. Put that seatbelt on because it's gonna be. We're gonna take off. We are going to take off. We're going to take off. We're going to take off. We are going to take off. We are going to take off in a big way. So yeah, so like and subscribe. Tell me where you're tuning in, what part of the world, what part of the country, what continent you are Okay, sounds good. What part of the world, what part of the country you're tuning in from? Let me know that as well. And yeah, so, and also if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to like because we need to support those things in our lives. We got to stop hiding. Y'all got to stop hiding. We all got to come out and hide, come out of hiding. We've got to come out of hiding. It's time for you to stop coming out from hiding. It's time for us to, do this work, right? It's time for us to, to keep on moving, keep on grooving, and to keep knowing our magic. I am Ms.Blue, the soulful who did I call a horoscope? I'm the soulful oracle Oh, you guys are telling me where you're from, San Fran. We got a lot of California in the building. My goodness. San Francisco in the building. We got Texas in the building. We got a lot of people in the building. Barbados in the building. Wow. Welcome on NDC in the building, Chicago. Oh, is it cold? Is it cold? Is South Africa in the building? Welcome on in. You got Gypsy on the way. You got you some listen. This Gypsy water, Gypsy, Norfolk, Virginia in the building. Welcome on in. Oakland, California, Montana in the building. North Carolina, one of my favorite places in the whole world. Maryland in the building. Hey, Trammell, Daytona Beach. Oh, I'm a little wet with my Gypsy water. A little wet with it. But Daytona, Florida, the UK, Maryland in the building. Hey, Mega Miss Little. Good to see you in the building. Alabama in the building. Welcome on in. Welcome on in, Alabama in the building. North Carolina, I'm in Georgia right now. Have a delivery this morning. Okay, so are you driving? You driving in that truck? Just make sure you get out and stretch. Take care of your health while you're on that road. And keep pushing it. Brittany Vibes checking in from Norfolk, Virginia, Baltimore, Maryland. Jeff is in the building. Good to see you, Jeff. Good to see you. Visionaries can shift realities, reprogram algorithms of the mind. Absolutely. Houston, Texas, H-Town in the building. Kansas. Ooh, Kansas. Yeah, we're going to get some windy wind in Kansas in the building. Welcome on in. More H-Town in the building. Good to see you, H-Town. Houston, California in the building. All right. All right. I see you. Victoria, BC, Canada in the building. Welcome on in. Good to see you. Something happening with the dam too. See, I'm getting all kinds of downloads. We'll talk about it. Bermuda, the Bermuda in here. Yes, we may even get that other Bermuda Triangle coming out too. It's going to be lots of discoveries, lots of portals, different places on the planet. We're going to discover things we didn't know exist here on Earth. We're so busy out there, but we're going to, and new planets. We're going to get some new discoveries of some new planets in our galaxy. We're going to get some new planets of our galaxy. Ms.Blue, do I accept gifts? I do. I did put my Cash App up there for those of you who feel called to do that. That's beautiful to do. If you want to do that, you certainly can. You certainly can. You certainly can. And I want to say thank you to you guys for the super chat donations and the cash apps as well. What do you think is under the ocean? You do know there's a part of the ocean that reaches the sky, right? It's a lot of things going on under the ocean. There's a whole world up under that ocean, people living up under that ocean. Antarctica is going to kind of open up all of that. Open up that energy. Yeah, we're in here heavy tonight. We really are. A lot of you. And let me all know if this is your very first time listening to me or tuning in live. I want to give a big shout out to Lola Falana, moderator in the building, Brother Lance as well, moderator in the building, and Mr. Dante as well, sending them all so much love, as well as the whole collective soul family in the building, all of the visionaries. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. We're at 3 minutes and like 30 plus seconds. We didn't even scratch the surface. So you all let me know in the comments if there's anything you want me to go a little bit more deeper into for the predictions. Some more things that we're going to talk about. I am going to do some segments, but I'm going to do them throughout the year, kind of like I did last year. for 2025. I do these prediction shows every single year. And to talk about that, we're also going to talk more about the astrological lineup as well too. Also, look, Australia in the building. Good to see you, Australia in the building. Bronx, New York in the building. Welcome, 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 welcome. So, y'all want more deep dives? We can definitely do that. Some of the things I will tell you right now, you probably gonna have to be a part of the futuristic activation group, or when I do another galactic e-file, or you're part of the DreamMakers class for me to go in deep. You know, they try to censor a little bit of stuff here. Some of these things are just not for the public, but I'm going to put out as much as I can because it is the time. It is time for us to go ahead and just be seen. And I'm ready to be seen. Okay. I'm ready to show my whole ass. I'm ready to be seen. Seen. Okay. Australia is in the building. That's right. Chief Heartbeat. Good to see you. Yeah, some things are private conversations. I want to do some work with sisters this year. We got some powerful work that a lot of sisters are going to be stepping into. And so I'm excited to talk about that. Brothers, too, some exciting work, too. But I definitely want to kind of get the air of those sisters who's ready to do that. Yeah, I'm ready to be seen, ready to just be seen. That's right. Be seen. Yes, come out here, put the work out there. And I want to talk about those things that's going on in the body energetically. I want us to get very comfortable with speaking to our spirit guides, our ancestors, our loved ones on the other side. Stop being scared of ourselves and put our greatness out into the world and put our own unique ID signature on it. You know, come on, come on, come on. Look at the alchemist empress in the building. Another powerful sister in the building. Good to see you guys. Don't show that. I don't mean my literal ass. I don't mean that literal thing. I'm talking about for real, meaning unapologetically, you know, putting this information out there, building connections, building true alliances. You know, that's the kind of work that I'm talking about. That's the kind of putting it out there that I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't mean my literal. Literal. Y'all ain't ready for that. Y'all ain't ready for that now. That's a lot to be putting out in the world. We ain't putting all that out. ATL in the building. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. It's time for this embodiment. It's time for us that we can't talk about it no more. We got to embody it. Everything that's going on is for the embodiment. 2026 is the year of embodiment, right? We ready. First time on the channel. Amazing. Fire Horse caught your attention. Well, so glad you're here. I hope you stay. Hope you like and subscribe and come back. We have a good time here. We have a good time. We have a good time. We have a good time. Sometimes we hear a long time, but we have a good time with a long time. So, okay. Okay, soul family. I think that's going to do it. I think that's going to do it. It's always a pleasure to be here. Oh, thank you for that. Chief Heartbeat 369. Now that's a powerful name right there. We stepping up and stepping out into the building. First time on the live. Welcome on in. What is that? Uh-huh. Okay, you walking by faith. It's moving so fast, but I see it. I see it. Tremel said best place to be. I love you guys so much. Y'all are some of the most powerful and loving beings on the planet for sure. For sure. For sure. Yeah. First time here, Isaiah. Okay. All right. Well, welcome on in. So glad that you are here. I want to know why I'm leaving Cali because you want to leave. Remember, we are sovereign beings. You have free will, and free will is the greatest will on the planet. Nothing should be forcing you, punking you, or making you leave. Nothing, nothing, nothing should do that. You doing that. You want to know what caused it? The being is causing it. You are causing it. You are causing it. And here's the thing, it's not about having all the answers, but having clarity of your movement. So if something is telling you to move and you feel that within your heart and your soul and your spirit, and you have clarity with that decision, move. Move. That's it. Do what your soul, your spirit is calling you to do. It's tense in California. It might be. Yeah. It's tense a lot of places around the world. It is. And this is why we have to definitely make sure that we learn how to manage our nervous system from within, have that calmness. So everything that's happening around us doesn't always trigger us within. But if something is telling you to move, trust it. Trust it. Hello, there are trolls in chat. Do you need another moderator? Where the trolls at? Because I don't see them. Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? And that's another thing. Know that wherever there's light, everything wants to come to the light, Caroline. Everybody want to come where the high frequency is. Everybody want to come where high vibrational vibes are. Everybody want a little, as the song go, they want a taste. Everybody want to get a taste. Somebody said you might be the troll, baby. Yeah, I don't see the troll. I don't know. Welcome on in. You guys are showing up and showing out. I feel like, do we need to do something else? No, it's 3 hours. It's 3 hours. It's 3 hours. Yeah. Y'all got to stop me. No, I got to stop myself. Let me be responsible. Yeah, I see what you mean. See, some things we just got to ignore, you guys. We got to ignore. We just got to ignore. You just got to ignore. Let's hit that like button. Let's hit that subscribe button. I love you all. I want to say thank you for everybody coming. Let's keep the conversation going in the comment section. Under no circumstances. What I want you to know, one thing about it, two things is for sure. We not going to be crazy up in here. We not. I don't really tolerate it. I don't. We have a good time. We don't have to always agree, but we are going to be respectful. We're going to be respectful. As King Simon would always say in his platform, high vibes over here, only high vibes. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. If you can't bring that, you can go back. You can go back. You can go back. So that's it. Come on. We got it. We're not gonna let one bad apple or 2, 3, or whatever it is. Don't get distracted, because there will be a lot of distractions in 2026. And some of them will be beautiful distractions, but we don't want to get too distracted. Not too distracted. So we're going to listen to some vibes and we're going to get out of here. But I love you all so much. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being a part. Thank you to all the visionaries in the building and all of you guys who are part of the Visionary Collectives. Let me know what you feel about that vibration of that name. So when you step up into chat, this chat is the Visionary Collectives. That is the VCs in the building. really a part of universal and galactic citizens that are in the building. And shouts out to everybody who's been here for a long time. I love you guys so much. I thank you all for being present, bringing your beautiful energy, bringing your light, bringing your intellect, bringing your magic, knowing your magic, doing your work, and for us to continue to move forward and to support each other, because that's important as well too. So keep loving yourself and loving yourself and loving yourself. Until next time, peace and love. Oracle kisses, soul family. Ciao. We're gonna run this back again. We're gonna run this back again. Where is my tap dan tuned off? Let me see. There we go. Because it's all about frequency.
You gotta be it.
Yeah.
As Ms.Blue has shared with the world, it's all about frequency. If you feel it, show it. If you want it, grow it. If you believe it, know it. It's all about frequency. If you dream it, live it. Live it. If you receive it, give it. Oh, nothing's missing. I'm it. I'm it. It's all about frequency. In the past, I thought I lost it, but the truth was always near. Every scar became a teacher. Every fall just brought me here. Now I'm rising with the healing. Every light inside of me, not becoming what I'm chasing. I am the frequency. You feel it, show it. Show it. If you want it, grow it. Grow. If you leave it, know it. Know. All about frequency. Ask the question, how is this possible? The answer subtle, synchronicities audible. Keys unlocking, belief expanding. Frame by frame, new life commanding. No chase, no match, I embody the key. The light I own unlocks destiny. Raise my vibration, reality shifts. Every dream I desire already exists. Nothing's coming to me, no, no. Already here. When I raise my vibration, a vision is clear. Vision is clear. If you want it, grow it. Grow. If you leave it, know it. Believe it. All about frequency. If you dream it, live it. Live it. If you receive it, give it. No, nothing's missing. I'm it. I'm it. It's all about frequency. Tapped in, tuned in, turned all the way on. This ain't just a vibe, it's a frequency bomb. Ms.Blue in the building, oracle flow, cracking codes of the cosmos. Now you already know. Yeah. Ride the wave, feel the light. It's frequency love tonight. Ms.Blue gon' take you higher. truth was sacred fire. Yeah, stay hungry. Yeah, this is soul talk, rebirth from the womb. Say it with me, I can alter my course at any time. Yeah, tap in, turn on. Yo, your higher self already logged in. Tapped in, tuned in, turned all the way on. This ain't just a vibe, it's a freak scene bomb.